I mean, we've got John, myself, and Val.
No Ray?
No, Ray, but I'm here, so there's 4 of us. We could
Oh, yeah,
begin.
and Diane, that's your point, right?
It's 4:59.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
5 o'clock on the nose, and we are live.
All right,
Okay.
welcome. Oops. Welcome to the HDC.
No, when the time comes, the chair, either Ray or Abby. Are you here for which
Property.
What's the others?
37. Already, wow.
37 Westchester.
I don't know if we're gonna get to that.
That's hopeful thinking.
Okay, we may or may not get to it tonight.
Okay.
But you're more than welcome to hang up.
Well, so clarify exactly what she did. She did.
I can email you the plans, or I can show you the plans.
What is first one, what is second one?
Madam Chair, if you wanted to.
Yeah, okay, that's a private conversation. Okay, so welcome to the HDC. And
Always best.
Tuesday, April 12th,
So we can
5
forward it to
o'clock.
all the meetings.
With us today
Forthwith.
is John McLaughlin, Diane Coombs, Val Oliver,
Fail.
Val, and Abigail Camp. And Ray Pohl should be tuning in soon. Okay,
You got Diane though, right?
Yep.
yes, yep. And so that's who's here. Do I have to take a roll call?
I think you do because Diane is on the other side. I didn't do
Okay, so when I call your name, tell me if you are alive. Diane Coombs.
I am almost alive, yes.
No, I know, I tried to put it. John McLaughlin.
Hi.
Aye. Val.
Aye.
And I myself am alive. Also, we have staff. We have Esmeralda Martinez
Present.
and Holly Bacchus.
She goes to school committee.
And Terry's also in Zoom.
And Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Terry.
Hi.
Anybody want to okay the agenda?
I'll make a
Motion.
motion to approve.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, on Diane's motion, do I have to call roll call again?
I think you do.
Okay, Diane, on your motion,
Aye,
Johnny McLaughlin,
Hi.
Val Oliver,
Aye.
and myself. Okay, let's get right down to it. Any public comment? Looks like none. Signs, none.
Yes.
Yes?
the signs are on the next page.
Oh, you flip it. Yep.
Okay.
Madam Chair, the sign council met this morning and per the recommendations, 1 and 2, they approved. And 3 and 4 is going to be held for more revisions.
Terrific. Okay, so,
I'll make a motion.
yeah, thank you.
Motion to approve 1 and 2 per the sign advisories decision and to hold 3 and 4 for revisions.
Cool.
We're approving 1 and 2 per sign advisory.
Advisory. Hi. Stephen's here.
Oh, Stephen, hi.
Hi,
Hi. Okay, so Stephen's here. So on Val's motion, Stephen,
aye,
John,
Hi.
Val,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye,
and myself, I. So now consents.
I have to sit off this, Madam Chair.
Okay, Val, Oliver. Do I hear, anybody have a problem with consents?
no.
Would
I
you
don't
like to
know.
make a motion to?
I'll make a thing to approve the consent. As
Thanks, Diane. On Diane's motion, Stephen,
aye,
John,
Aye.
I am an aye, and Diane on your motion.
Aye.
Super duper, moving right along. Consent with conditions.
I also have to sit off.
Okay, Diane, can you make that?
I make a motion to approve the consents with conditions.
Excellent. Stephen,
Aye.
John,
Consent with conditions, aye.
I myself, and Diane on your motion.
Aye.
Okay, new biz.
Yeah, question, what was the vote on the first four?
First,
Signs?
the signs, 1 through 2 were okayed,
How
and
about
then
consent?
consents were okayed, and also consents with
Can approve
conditions.
all of them?
Yeah,
Consents?
yeah, just like that.
Okay, thank you.
And we're on to 3 Beaver Street.
We're gonna hold, Madam Chairman, it's Linda Williams for the applicant. We're gonna
Okay.
hold because I'm missing a couple of critical elevations that I want you to see.
Okay, okay. Do I hear a motion to hold 3 Beaver?
So move.
Thank you, Diane. We're gonna hold 3 Beaver. Number,
3 people.
we're gonna hold that. On Diane's motion, Stephen,
Aye.
John,
Yes, well,
we're gonna hold 3 Beaver.
okay, well, where is it? What number?
It's right under the first one under new business. After consent with conditions.
Here's what I'm trying to find, where is it?
Let's see, we're like sort of down near the
3
bottom of
Beaver
the,
Street?
right about here on
Oh,
the,
down here.
why, yeah, right. You see
I
it?
got you, thank you.
Okay, and Val, are you able to be on that? Yes. And
Yes.
John, Diane, and I, and Diane on your motion?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, old biz, 34B Walsh.
I'm
Madam Chair,
waiting to hear
we're
back
gonna
from
hold.
Ray because I
Yeah.
don't know if he's going to be here and he's integral to,
That,
right.
He said
should
he
we
was
hold
going to, Madam Chair, this is Linda Williams for the applicant. He said he was coming. I spoke to him earlier today. He is in Vermont. So we're gonna hold 34B Walsh until he comes into the meeting.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
34B, and we're gonna hold it because,
No,
wait, where?
no, you just said we just approved all of the consents?
Yeah, approved all of those, we did that. We are now.
Everything here?
Yeah, and we're holding this one for Linda, and we're now here, and we're gonna hold that too. Do I hear a motion to hold 34B Walsh?
So move.
Thanks, Diane.
If you're opening it later, you don't really need to do that.
Okay.
just came in.
Yeah, you can just sort of skip over it. You will, if nobody shows up, you will have to come back at the end of the meeting and hold it. But right now, because you plan to come back, just slide right on.
Here, like on
Yes.
Zoom?
So do you want to hear it now?
What?
34B?
That's up to, I
No.
mean, Linda said no.
Ray is trying to come in. He came in and
actually up,
bounced out
guys.
again. He's there.
He's here. Linda, he's here
There's
now.
There's
Great.
Ray.
Great.
Hey, hi, everybody.
Hi.
So can somebody, Abby, can you tell me where we are?
We're on 34B, and Linda said she wanted to hold it.
Okay, can
For
I,
him.
I just want to catch up.
For you.
So have we gotten through the consent agenda?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's all done. Consent with conditions done.
We can get 'em.
And so
3 Beaver is a hold.
3 Beavers a hold, great. Oh,
We're ready.
34B Walsh. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
We're ready.
All right, so Abby, first of all, I want to thank you for covering for me while I was getting a shower. Because I feel much better now.
Oh, good, 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 good.
I feel ready to take on the world. Okay, so speaking of taking on the world, we got 34B Walsh. The other thing that I'm not completely up to speed on is who's actually present. Abby, you're obviously here. John, I think I heard you, right?
Yep.
Okay,
And then-
Diane, you here on Zoom?
Yeah, I'm
Very
here.
good. And Val Oliver, you're there?
I am.
Great. Okay, so
I
that's.
don't know
the
where
whole-
Carrie is or Jesse.
Terry, which Terry?
Carrie
Carrie.
Thornwell.
Oh, Carrie, sorry. Yeah, well, we'll figure that out later, but for the time being, we're at 34B Walsh. And we do have all the board members that are sitting on this application. So,
Yep.
Linda Williams, I believe that you are representing this, correct?
It's myself. I'm on Zoom. James Krapp, I believe, is on Zoom.
Okay,
The owner and his wife are in the audience, and they're going to speak as well.
Okay.
But I'll give the initial uptake on it.
right, very good. Okay, so Linda, you start.
We've made a number of changes to it.
Sorry, hey, Linda.
here we
Just want to, okay. Because I'm going to have to be following all this on Zoom, I want to make sure that I have the material in front of me on the screen, and it looks like it's coming up right now. Thank you.
It's just now coming up.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. For those of us that are on Zoom, it's important that we're following along with the visuals. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
got the plans. Great. Okay. Linda, now that we have this stuff, you give your overview. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to jump to my presentation, which Esmeralda and Holly had separately 2 weeks ago. I'll let James talk about the architecturals, which is this group. I'm in a separate attachment, if they can go back and find it somewhere.
Is it helpful for me to share it more quickly? I have everything readily available.
Actually, that's James. I think that we've, rather than overburden the staff with having to do a lot of different tasks all simultaneously, if you're able to share, that would be great.
That'll be great, and I'll just go through it that way.
All right.
Sure, just give me a second to,
You're
Pull up
taking
the-
too long, man.
I'm trying.
Share screen, we're still zooming.
This one first, Linda?
Yes, that one first.
This one second. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, let's go there first. Let's go to the map first.
Okay.
Diane, you have brought up that there are a lot of one-story structures still left in that section. There aren't, unfortunately, there aren't. I was also the one who drafted the Brant Point area plan. If you want to pull it out a little bit further, not so close.
Sorry.
What does the yellow signify?
The yellow signifies the remaining one-story structures,
In all of Brant Point?
all of Wall Street.
Oh,
There
all
are
of Wall Street, okay.
I didn't go down Swain. Swain also has few left, and East Lincoln, a few
All right.
of those little cottages left. But our focus is pretty much on Wall Street as the context.
Mhm.
Hang on a second. And so I just wanted to show you where they were,
Okay,
because as you move down Wall Street to us, which are around the corner and down the street, we are also one section back, because the structures right in front of us are two-story structures, and they actually front on Wall Street. We are actually landlocked back there on
James, for the
Yes, sir.
benefit of those of us on Zoom, can
Go
you use your little arrow to show us which is the subject property? Okay, you just circled
there
it,
it is.
right?
Yep.
Do
And
that
that
again.
that has never been, contrary to some other comments made, that has never been a public way. It has never been a private
Right.
way. It is actually a deeded easement back, decades ago,
Okay,
where that thing was allowed, and it has no frontage on the street. And our front lot lines, our northerly front lot lines on all three of those structures, 34B, 34A, and 34, actually butt up against the back lot lines of the three structures in front.
okay.
Okay, so zoom back out again, and we'll go down to the next frame quickly. I don't want to waste their time.
I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Too.
There's the chairman again.
Here you
Oh,
go.
sharing. Yes, sharing. Okay, keep going. Just to give you an idea how far we are actually off a publicly traveled way, we are 76 feet off of Walsh by the
Hmm.
time we get to the front of the house, and we are 576 feet off of North Beach Street. Because as you can see, everybody in here on that Brant Point subdivision has frontage on North Beach Street, because every one of those access points in there is a privately deeded access easement. That's it, not a publicly traveled way. We all travel in there, but for legal purposes, the next closest road to them is North Beach Street, where they all have frontage. This kind of a subdivision wouldn't be allowed today. So I just wanted to give you some context there.
Thank you.
Fairly far away from everybody else. And again, one row back off of Wall Street where the only visibility is between 38 and 40. It's not visible
Okay.
from anywhere else. So keep
Okay.
going.
That was the second. This is the other one, Linda.
Okay, here we go. There we are. The house that was in there before us at 34B was allowed to be removed in 2002 by the HDC back then. And the new house was allowed to be built. The same thing with 34, which is the one to the right, not the immediate right, but the one to the right on the first house on the access easement. That was removed in 2018, and the new house there was allowed to be built by the HDC in 2018. So go to the next one. This is the house that was built in 2018. A lot of the details we took off. You can see, let's just compare these two. The one on the left is the existing footprint of the house. The one on the right is the proposed footprint of the house. We can't go left and right. We can't go forward. So pretty much the footprint of the house is the footprint of the house, and we're not going any further back except for an open porch. So we're filling in that square right there on the corner. So basically we're hemmed in on the front, hemmed in on both sides, and all we can do is sort of adjust the existing footprint and adjust that square that's open right now. So keep going. If I knew how to share, that'd be great, but I still have my flip phone, so that's not gonna work. Keep going. There we go. That is the actual, if you want to go back up again, you went too far.
One more. This
Go
one.
back up. Yeah, right there. That was the original house on the left and the original house on the right, and both of those structures were removed. Now, one I know was demolished. I don't know what happened to the other one, but those are the original footprints, and those are now both gone in favor of the two houses at 34 and 34B. This view from Wall Street was taken with my camera in between 38 on the left and 40 on the right. That is really the only visibility of this structure from a publicly traveled way. So I just wanted to give you some context there.
Okay.
So keep going. These are the houses that are around it. A full two-story at 38, a full two-story at 40. The 34 Walsh and 36 Walsh, a lot of these were more recently revised. 34, you can see 34 right there on the left. That's the one that some of our details were taken off of. That was approved by the HDC in 2019. And I've included the minutes in this packet, and very little comment about it. It took 2 meetings. This is much more of a substantial structure, completely visible from Wall Street. So I just wanted to give you that context. That's the first one on the private driveway easement.
Okay.
Go down one more. That's looking down our driveway easement. 36, 38, and 40 are visible on the right. This is what's looking down. It's actually looking back towards, actually, I'm going the other direction, looking east. 34 is to the, 38 is to our left. That is 34A right to the right, and that's the big house beyond us at 34. Looking down the driveway easement. Keep going. That's the front of our house at the moment. Keep going. Or what serves as the front door from the driveway point of view. There's no front or back on these things. It just is. I don't want to get into a long diatribe with the neighbors about what's front, what's back, because it doesn't matter. What matters is what's visible from Wall Street. Keep going. And that roof walk was approved. That's the backyard looking north, or the yard area that they have looking north. Not back, not front. We're just not getting into it again. I keep saying it because that's how I look at it. That's
This
the
is
area.
the main area of the addition.
Yeah, that's the area that's getting filled in, that block, and then the porch is moving backwards.
Okay.
That's the east side or west side? That's the west side. Yep. And that is a better picture of the,
This is the south.
South
This is
side.
the south side. This is the room we're trying to keep. We'll talk about that later. And this is the spot we're filling in.
Right.
There you go.
okay, keep going. That is the view from the south side of their road, their yard, looking back towards all that big stuff in the Brand Point area, that Brand Point subdivision. Gives you some
Okay.
context. That's the yard area looking southwest, southeast. And that,
This is
that's the one next door. That's the one at 34, looking from their yard to the one at 34 approved in 2018. So a lot of the same issues, if not more, blown up on steroids as ours.
Okay.
There it is again. And it had to come up at that far because of when it was rebuilt, it had to come up out of the ground the same distance as ours.
Right.
Keep going. And I believe the one right here at 34A, right next to us, has a letter of support in the file. Ruleski's is in the file. So you should have received that one. Keep going. Now we're going to get into the surrounding territory. This is 38, the rear of 38 facing our driveway easement, a full 2-story structure. The one below it, one is 40, 40 is right there, then 38. Keep going. And now we're starting to go down Wall Street. There is 36, 38, 40, 42 was tripled in size, right next to 40 with nary a peep is my understanding. There are various vestiges of some parts of some of the structures that were down there in the 30s and 40s, but very few left, very few identifiable left. 32 was approved more recently, right on the other side of our driveway easement. You got 1 Henry Street across the street that was blown up. So there really aren't any 1-story structures around us. You got 1 James, which was tripled and doubled, 47. James has a lot of pictures here, 46, 50. I had to
I'm
squish
dying to
it.
see the actual plans here, the plans and elevations. Dying.
So what? Oh, whatever. 293 feet to Galen. Yeah, I can only process so much. I got up at 3 o'clock yesterday to get back to Nantucket last night from Memphis. 459 feet to East Lincoln Avenue, 293 feet to Galen Avenue. Again,
Okay.
I give distances so you can see the context of the neighborhood.
Okay.
Even on Galen Avenue, most of them, all but one of them was blown up. On Galen, which used to have a bunch of smaller structures. This is looking from North Beach Street. You can't see us from North Beach Street, not even from right where they have the access cut here, where the tennis courts are next to it. So I just wanted to give you the context of what we're dealing with here. And this is the Grand Point stuff that's behind us. This is what you could see from the backyard of the house that we're talking about.
Right.
And I think
Okay.
that's pretty much gives you the neighborhood context. I mean, we're not doing anything weird, and all these other ones are directly on the street, and we're, 76 feet from the
Okay,
street.
let's get to the elevation and see what you got.
So go to the elevations with James will take it over from there, and then the owner would like to have a small stay after this.
Okay, that's great. What is the owner's name, just so I got it down?
David Sloan and his wife,
David Sloan. Okay, very good. Thank you.
they're in the audience.
What's that? Oh, in the audience. Okay, that's
They're in
right. Yeah, okay.
Nantucket.
James, your turn.
All right. Just to refresh your memory, like Linda was saying, this is our site plan. These are our neighbors to the north. And essentially, this is the area in question that we are infilling with what used to be a 2-story structure, a 2-story additive mass, and now we've made it a 1.5-story additive mass, which you will see in the elevations.
No, when you
So let me
say
get to
used to be, sorry, James, when you say
First.
used to be 2-story, you mean used to be as of the last submission that we reviewed,
Correct.
right? The
Correct.
previous submission was 2-story and your revision had to go to 1.5 stories. That's what you mean.
in the back portion. That's correct. And
Correct.
we've lowered
Okay.
everything else.
Got it.
So
Continue.
for frame of reference, the most prevalent elevation is obviously the north elevation that does have a window to be seen from Wall Street. That being said, the other elevations, as Linda so noted, can barely be seen and can't be publicly accessed. So to some degree, while, I don't want to say they're inconsequential, but they're less consequential than other elevations. So what you see here on the left, this was our original submission in the lower left-hand corner. Then we made a change after HSAB, and these were the drawings that we reviewed with the HTC previously. So what we did was we made some major changes to the roof line and the eave lines. We brought and upon recommendation, we slid the dormers down. We moved the entire eave line down so that it hits the head casing. We enlarged the windows so that they were in better proportion. And we've changed a lot of the windows to just be more harmonious. That was just one of the comments that, they weren't loving the windows. The widow's rock remains, but then on the other massings, this is the area where we reduced it significantly. So you can see here on the left, this is our previous 2-story mass in the rear. What we've done is we've brought it down, created a dormer, and then subsequently we made window changes as well, just to, further answer some of the comments that came from the board. And then subsequently what that did in the back, the south, which can't necessarily be seen, was we're trying very, very hard to maintain some of the existing character, and we're lifting that house up and leaving it on the existing foundations and only adding back in that square portion. So what that did was that did create what we even considered kind of an awkward roof line back here at the existing cathedral ceiling. So what we did was we pulled it down and created this broken back. So now we get to keep the cathedral. We get a 1.5-story massing in something that frankly looks better, but nobody can see. So I think that was a great benefit. And then the western elevation, frankly, is right up against the existing 5-foot setback. There were not major changes to it. We're leaving some of the old windows, we're matching them. And then upon the recommendation of comments from Diane in particular, we unganged these windows. And this is the only ganged window that remains, which is existing. And subsequently, those are the changes. So after the last version, we brought everything down at least 12 inches. In comparison, and looking at number 34 up the street, that is like a 34-foot base height, and we're at like 31. While we know that we have to raise up and that it's pretty tall in general, it's actually only a 26-foot 10 structure from the first floor. It's actually very modest in height and scale. We know that the floodplain brings us up, and that's something we have to deal with, and we don't really have a choice. But the actual massings themselves and widths of the building don't allow us to have super high ridges because it's just kind of too narrow masses. So that is the bulk of the changes that were made. The area in question is going to be this because this is what can be seen. We think it does a lot better than it did before. It had a couple of, frankly, things that we should have recognized earlier, like the head height should have been lower to begin with. We understand that that's something that we always have to maintain. Sliding the dormers down definitely helped. And I think the window proportions are just frankly better now. It just feels better in general. So those are the bulk of the architectural changes that we made in the last iteration.
Okay, thank you, James. Now, it's going through my mind. Mr. Sloan, you're in the audience. I know that you want to speak. Maybe I should ask Linda this question because I think Linda has a sense of what issues you want to bring up. Linda, what I'm wondering about is should we have Mr. Sloan speak now before the neighbors and before HSAB comments or after?
I would ask David what his preference is. He's in the audience.
Okay, so Mr. Sloan, I'm going to caution both you and I believe, are the neighbors on this session right now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, are they on via Zoom or live?
I believe it's Zoom, from what I
Okay,
can see.
so I want to caution both of you that we understand that, there are some issues, neighborly issues going on. I want you to keep in mind, I want you both to keep in mind what the HDC's jurisdiction is visibility from a public way. Okay, so I would like you to keep your comments to the degree possible, less about your neighbors and what your neighbors' comments may be than the actual purview of our board. Okay, so with that, Mr. Sloan, would you like to speak now or would you like to speak after you've heard from HSAB and the neighbors? And the only way we're going to hear you is if you approach one of the two microphones at either end of the aisles.
With your admonition in mind, I would prefer to speak after the neighbors.
Okay, very good. Okay, so then with that, I would like to hear from Holly and HSAB first.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So for the record, this is a contributing lot within the historic district in 1970 with a non-contributing structure built circa 2001, 2002. And there was a previous structure on the lot that was built in the 1930s, reminiscent of a lot of other structures in the area at that time. HSAB took a look at the revisions on April 4th. They said that this house will be very visible from Wall Street as viewed between 38 and 40. There are existing two-story buildings nearby. However, the proposed additions create a 42-foot long two-story mass that is not characteristic of the neighborhood. The north elevation ridgeline should be reduced by about 12 feet to keep it in scale with the neighboring houses. The third floor dormers facing Walsh and the roof wall create too much apparent height and should be removed. The front windows and door need to be reworked for a more conventional appearing front facade with a traditional front door. The existing east windows no longer work with this style house and should be separated. It may be worth considering moving the house back on the lot to create more separation from the neighbors on Wall Street. And HSAB does respectfully request revisions if the commission is so inclined. From staff's perspective, I just want to reiterate that if this structure is being elevated, that for obviously flooding concerns, that it must follow Resilient Nantucket, our design guidelines, and that an elevation certificate is needed, indicating the DFE and the BFE. Those are the comments, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Holly. Okay, now I'm going to open it up to neighbors. Neighbors, if you're on Zoom, unmute and give your name and address for the record before you speak. And I would like to remind you of what I just cautioned you of.
Mr. Chairman, it's Eileen Murphy. I will
Very
defer to my neighbor at 38 Walsh, and then I would like to speak after Mr. Nunley speaks.
Well, this isn't going to be a back and forth. Tell us what you have in mind, and then I'm going to allow him to speak. So go ahead. Eileen Murphy, correct?
Yes, Eileen Murphy at 40 Wall Street. We've been
Very good.
at this
Thank you.
property for 25 years. I'll just take the jurisdiction issue right on. This house is very visible from Wall Street. I don't know if any of the members of the HTC have performed a site visit, but I'm very familiar with the neighborhood. It's visible from Holbert Avenue, actually. You can see the roof walk from Holbert Avenue, and this is going to even be more visible as it gets raised. 42-foot ridge line with the roof walk will make it extremely visible. And Linda, I believe you showed some pictures of the vantage point from Brand Point subdivision, and you could see the house in those pictures. Trust me, it's very visible. You can see it coming down Henry Street. Definitely from Wall Street. And I don't know where you're getting the feet. My lot is not very deep. It is, I would say no more than, 70 feet from Wall Street. I don't know that specifically, but if you take a measurement from Wall Street down my driveway straight to the property, that's not very much. But so I want to just establish that right out the get-go.
Okay.
And I think ASAB knows what they're talking about. They did a site visit and it is extremely visible. So, I would just say right out the get-go that I certainly don't object to the Sloans making modifications to their house. But the modifications have to be done in context with the neighborhood. It's all well and good to give a view pack of houses that have been raised and larger homes in Brand Point. I'm not debating that. I accept that there are large houses in Brand Point. However, they don't all sit right behind other homes as in close proximity to ours. So what's appropriate for this lot is not a 3-story structure elevated to, comply with the flood mitigation and flood maps, and then with the gigantic roof walk on top of that. So that's the second point. The other thing that I would like to refute that Linda said is the front, you identified the I believe north elevation that faces Wall Street, faces my home as being the front of the house. I believe when this house was constructed back in 2001, 2002, it is like a 12-foot setback from the property line. So it is in conformance of a front setback. Front setback and back side front setbacks do make a difference here. It's 5 feet. And what the applicant is proposing is a three-story structure raised for flood zone with a roof walk, just 5 feet off of the property line. In fact, the storage area, which has doors, would open into the setback. So it is much too large for this lot. It's much too large for the context of the neighborhood. It will destroy the historical context of our neighborhood. And, you can go back to your HGC minutes from when this roof walk was considered. There was certain dissension among the people that sat on the committee with regard to visibility. So I think the visibility has been well established. So, I really continue to have some serious concerns with this application. I challenge the setback that has been shown on the architect's drawings, 5-foot setback from my property line. That should be at least a 10-foot setback. And while I applaud that you brought down the massing on the other flip side, the rear view, that is what is least visible, albeit it is visible from the Brand Point subdivision, as Linda, your view pack shows. So I think, given the comments from ASAP, which I think should not be dismissed, I continue to have serious concerns with this application. So
Okay,
I will leave it at that and
thank you.
let my other neighbors speak.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Murphy. So there is another neighbor that would like to speak or two. If so, unmute and name and address for the record. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Alan Nunnally. My wife and I, Sarah DeVello, own the property at 38 Walsh. So I'll try not to be repetitive of some of the points that Ms. Murphy raised, but I think our primary concern around the visibility to the proposed structure is, again, between our property at 38 and 40 on Wall Street. The proposed structure would create sort of a towering effect very close behind where our houses are. So I think, as Ms. Murphy mentioned, certainly, and as Linda mentioned, there are a lot of properties in Brant Point that have been reconstructed, probably made larger from their original structures. I think the big distinction here is that these houses and the proposed property at 34B are right behind ours. So I'm not aware of precedents for sort of this bleacher effect from one of the streets, in this case, Wall Street and Brant Point. And that's sort of the concern, that this is a lot taller and highly visible from Walsh. I think visible already from Hulbert with the roof walk, and certainly this will become more visible. And it's another aspect of this that's highly distinguishable from 34 Walsh, which is a couple of houses down, again, in sort of that back row, that larger structure that was built. The long axis of the property here for the proposal for 34B is parallel to Wall Street, whereas the long axis of the property at 34 is perpendicular. So this is 42 feet, as you saw from the drawings earlier, sort of like highly visible right between the two houses on Wall Street, sort of towering over our two properties. And that's pretty distinctive. I mean, we've been owned at Walsh for a couple of years, walked around the neighborhood quite a lot. I think that's really quite different from what you see in the other areas, even though, of course, Brant Point does have some larger structures. So we're concerned about that from, a visibility from a public way standpoint. And I think a lot of the changes that were sort of just reviewed by the applicant's representative are having more of an effect on the non-visible from Wall Street side of the property, that you'd have to be looking all the way from North Beach Street. So it's all well and good that some of the things have been lowered there, but it doesn't really have any effect on our primary concern, which is the visibility from Wall Street and sort of towering over the properties at 36, 38, 40. So I think those are the main points I just wanted to bring to light. I'm not sure if members of the committee have had an opportunity to walk over there and have a site visit. It's really, when you can see this in person, it's quite visceral what the effect would be if this were sort of raised a full story behind our houses. So I think those are the main, hopefully non-overlapping points that I wanted to touch on.
You did a pretty good job of non-overlapping. Thank you.
Thanks
thank you, Mr. Nunnally, for your comments. Is there anyone else from the neighborhood that wants to speak on this?
I believe that another neighbor at 51 Walsh, the Gilberts, has submitted a letter to the committee.
Yeah, that was sent around, correct? That's a comment for Esmeralda, I think. Pretty sure I saw Gilbreth come
Yes, it
through.
was, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Can that letter be read into the record?
It's already in the record because it went into the file and it was disseminated among the members. So whenever that happens, it's in the record.
Okay, because I know Mr. Gilbert said that the plants were shocking.
Thank you for the clarification. Okay, so I did say that I would offer Mr. Sloan a chance to rebut. I'd like you to stay to the architectural points or the HCC related points, and hopefully keep it rather brief so we can get to what the board members think about this, which is kind of the important part. Okay, Mr. Sloan, are you at the mic right now?
I am at the mic.
Very good.
My name is David Sloan and my wife Catherine Sloan is with me. And we're the owners of 34B Walsh. We bought the house in 2011. We're the third owners of that house. As stated, the original house was demolished and the house that we have was built in 2002. We're at the end of a private shared driveway. It has never been a public way. 40 Walsh, which is owned by the Murphys, and our house have abutting backyards, and it's separated by a 6-foot fence. And we've planted trees and a privet to further provide additional screening from the Murphys' house. We're to the south of the Murphys, and the harbor is to the north. There has been a long history since we moved in of harassment, unfortunately, by the Murphys and complaining about various things on our property.
I was hoping it wouldn't.
Yep, I'm going to go on. I'm not going to read them.
I think,
Okay.
excuse me,
But
let's not get,
Stop.
I'm speaking.
I'd like this to not get personal.
I
and-
know, me too. Don't worry. I'm trying to chair this meeting. And so, yeah, I would rather it didn't get personal about, neighborhood disputes. So let's stick to the architectural things, the HCC related things. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you
I
very
would
much.
draw the committee's attention to what I believe is the most important letter that is in this file, and that is by the Oldakowskis, who live next door to us at 34A. They share the driveway with us. They've reviewed the plans, they've reviewed the revised plans, and they are fully in support of our project. They are most impacted of anybody by this project. Now, although we're within our rights to tear our house down and start from scratch and do something bigger, we want to maintain the character of the neighborhood. We modeled our house and our renovation after what was approved at 34 Walsh. When that house was demolished and what was built there were no public comments and it was approved in 2 meetings. We thought that 34 Walsh, which shares our driveway easement, used too much of their ground cover. Our lot at 34B is much bigger. We have 8,100 square feet in a 5,000 square foot zone. But our proposal, as James and Linda showed, we're simply squaring off the south side of our house. Our proposal is nowhere near as high as 34 Walsh. The volume of our house is proposed as under 30 feet. We're not expanding the width of our house 1 inch. We have the same east to west parameters and setbacks as currently exist. The
42 feet.
north-south length is staying the same, other than the addition of a porch on the south side. We're squaring off the house on the south side where we do most of our living, and we're going up to gain more bedrooms for our family. The bulk of our changes are to the south, which is not visible from Wall Street or any of our neighbors to the north. We've been thoughtful about this project and simply want our home to accommodate our growing family on a more permanent basis.
What's being shown just before that? Mr. Chairman, is not our house.
Linda, stop.
Okay. That's not our house.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. So James, you may want to just leave.
You want it back?
You're still in control. So just leave
Oh,
it
I am.
there and let's not edit anything right now. Okay, continue. Sorry, Mr.
So
Sloan.
unlike some of the other people who have submitted letters, we're one of the few houses on Brant Point that's occupied year round. We don't rent our house, we live here. We're asking the HDC to approve a project that is less ambitious than 34 Walsh, which sits on our driveway. Our family has a long history in Nantucket. We've had a daughter who lived in our house and taught at NIS. We've been here and involved in the community, and we are trying to make a house that will accommodate our growing family because this is our home. And this is where we are over 250 days a year, and we're trying to expand it so it fits us all the time. Thank you for
Okay.
the time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, folks, it is now up to the board. Again, it's myself, Abby, John, Diane, and Val. Who would like to begin?
I will.
That was Val.
Me. Val.
Yeah, go ahead, Val.
I appreciate the changes. I think making the back wing 1.5 stories really does add to the additive mass idea. It seems more simplified. And hold on, turning pages here. I think my biggest concern would be the roof walk and maybe making that have no skirt. But do not talk, Linda, please.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the changes. While I do think it's a huge departure from what's there, clearly the area has evolved. And with the resiliency stuff, which may or may not be necessary on our island, but is being pushed on us, they have to raise it. So with the exception of the rear, which I am not sure we'll see, which may be a little over fenestrated, I believe I'm okay with this.
I'll go.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just, I'll go to you next, Diane. So Val, you've concluded, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Diane, your turn.
Looking at these drawings yet again, it comes to my mind that the two shed dormers on the up in the roof are to me too heavy. Either they should be, I would think that they would be perhaps single windows if they're, and drop down. There is a great deal of space that's between the bottom of them and the roof line. They just don't seem to fit. I have got photographs that were taken for me so I could see what was there, since it has grown since the last time I sat on it, and I would do that. I agree with Val about the skirt on the roof walk, if the roof walk even stayed. If you're trying to tuck a building in, then perhaps the roof walk is too much. And if I can go down to the next picture on the north elevation, not the demo one down there, I just think that roof is too much somehow or other. Is there something in the back of the land that says that the house cannot come back any, or there could be a one-story addition back there, which would, see, I can't quite make out what it says on the site plan in the rear.
I think there might be, there's an interesting question, Diane. I think there might be a wetland back there. Is that correct, James?
There is.
Yeah, and
yeah.
are you kind of at the 50 right now?
Well, we've actually done our best to try to just square off the corner of the existing house, like we mentioned, but we are pretty close to the 50.
It looked that way. Okay.
Yeah.
So
What we're trying to do is
there's a
maintain the
wetland
old
back
foundation.
there, Diane, that they kind of have to respect the setback on. Yeah.
Right, that's right. I couldn't read what it said, so I didn't know whether there was a wetland back there or not, which stopped them. Anyway, that is my thought of the dormers on the north elevation too, that they either should be, they can't be 6/6s, because I don't think you could cram them in. I would rather see them gone. In that respect, I think it makes the roof too too heavy and too busy. So other than that, I appreciate what they've done. I understand their problems. I have listened to it all at Hashab, and I think it's come quite a distance from what we started with, and I thank you.
Okay. Is that it, Diane?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Ms. Abigail Camp, you're up.
Right, so you shouldn't have chose me last because I wrote down.
You're not
more.
last.
Thanks.
You're right in the middle because we still have John and myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You gave my point is you gave me too much time. So to me, the design of this house, it seemed squeezed in on the lot and in an already dense neighborhood. And it appears as a 3-story building, and I think it's the dormers that are working against you. They appear to sort of float on the roof rather than sit nicely. I missed the 1.5-story structure. The original structure barely seems to exist. The additive massing that it has been designed dwarfs the old existing building. The roof walk looks odd, especially from the east end coming. It looks like it's coming out of 2 dormers. I agree with HSAB about maybe pushing it back on the lot. If that was possible, that would give it a little more room. And lastly, I think the design in general appears a bit generic and lacks character. So those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Abby. The interesting points there, which I want to get back to. John, it's your turn, friend.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, 203.
203? James, can you go to A203, please?
I'm not
For me?
driving anymore.
Oh, you're not?
No,
Whoever's driving, A203, please. Okay, John, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. The A203. Go to 0.02, just to the left. Okay,
We can't hear him, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I'm having difficulty.
You have to
Thank you,
speak into
Carrie.
the
Thank you.
microphone.
Carrie's moving the mic a little closer. Thanks. Okay, John, continue. Sorry.
Okay, page A203, looking at the west elevation, proposed west elevation.
Okay,
Go
got
to
it.
the left where there's 2 air conditioners
Yes,
up on the stands,
correct.
all right? And then you go further on that page to the left, X2, it shows 2 air conditioners.
Yes,
Okay, now you go back to A101, I think it is, let me see.
all right. A101, yes.
Right,
Do you want to know where those air conditioners are, John? Is
You're
that-
really close. There you go.
What's your question, John? Maybe we can help you with it.
go to A103,
103, okay.
looking at A103, and you go to the middle of the page, there's a little square there. Now, there's 2 air conditioners together on the other page. And this here is, it looks like it's in its exact same location, but there's only 1 air conditioner here marked. Can anybody answer that?
Because they probably line up.
I'm sorry?
The
Probably
John,
line up, right?
No,
You-
this looks the other way, straight on.
Carrie, can you help us out with what John's concern is?
Right. Oh, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at 2 on this one. Here,
Right here. Yep.
that's 2.
Mhm.
Here, you're looking at it the same direction.
Oh, they're not on the roof plan.
Yeah, we're not showing it on the
You're
roof
looking on
plan.
the roof plan right now.
On A101, you can see two of them on the left side of the storage or the site plan.
Oh, that's inside.
One more.
They're coming.
So they're on the side right here. They're tucked in the corner next to the storage shed on the rear of the building.
The other, I had one other comment in
Go back to 101, please. He can see it there.
Linda, do you know what he's getting at with the air conditioners?
Yes, if
the
you're
other is.
too high on the page,
The comment is the.
Drop the page.
203,
there they are, right there.
Right there.
Demo west elevation. But I see that the double window on the right. And, yeah, I got that. I
That's
got
going
this
away.
double. All right. Now this one here. Is it application to demo?
Well, they're demoing all of this and they're putting on all of this. So they're
Right.
basically
Changing,
demoing the whole
okay.
thing. Yeah.
Because as what they have up here in the roof wall. And the way they designing this here is not typical. Why it's got these lines in it.
This is the demo plan. So everything that's
Right.
dashed will be demoed. This is the application. So you see the windows are not dashed, they're here. So
They're
this
going
whole
to
piece is new. The
second
whole
floor.
second floor is, yes.
A lot to it. How
Same
fast? Thank you.
foundation.
Hang on, Linda. John, what did you just say? John?
Sorry?
He's done, Ray.
He's done. Okay, thank you, John. And thank you, Carrie. Okay, my comments, if we go to the Wall Street elevation, please, just for a second. I'm basically going to sort of underscore what's already been said, but these would be my concerns and observations.
North elevation, please. That's
Yeah,
what he's
north.
talking about.
Yep. Okay, there it is. All right. So I think that, well, to Abby's point, Abby said, you sort of regret the loss of a 1.5-story building. So what we're dealing with here is sort of a double whammy. One is, we have to raise the building we have to raise the first floor from the get-go because of the floodplain issues. Then on top of raising the building for the floodplain issues, we are now also going from 1.5 to 2.5 stories for, increase in volume for the growing family, that. So the building is getting, substantially larger. Now, the issue of expanding on the same footprint has led to the unfortunate consequence of there being this very long ridge. Now, the very long ridge as a 1.5-story element was okay, it was fine. And now that it's 2.5 stories, I believe that it's more onerous. So there's been I guess mainly discussion was about the roof walk and about the dormers. So I think that the dormers on the north side, not the ones on the south side, I'll grant that visibility from that side is going to be limited and it's going to be in the context of much larger buildings. I think I would rather see no dormers on the north side, have the simplicity of just a simple roof plane. And there are a lot of large buildings in Brant Point that have these very simple roof planes, and they sort of herald back to turn of the 19th to 20th century. The roof walk, I think, is the skirt on the roof walk is contributing to the heaviness and verticality of the building. So if there's a roof walk at all, I would like to see it much simpler and without a skirt. So my preference would be no dormers on the north side and a reduced sort of pared down version of the roof walk. And I should have said this at the outset. I appreciate the reductions that have been made to the height and to the 1.5-story mass in the back. Those are my comments. What would be the pleasure of the board at this point? Would somebody care to make
For
a motion?
revisions
Uh,
Go for
Have
it.
one comment,
Okay.
a follow-up comment to the
and
roof
back
walk
to
issue.
HSAB.
No,
We're in the middle of a
So-
vote. So Abby has made the motion to hold for revision, sending it back to HSAB.
Oh, again? Jesus. All right,
Linda,
I just wanted to solve the roof walk issue right off the bat. to
Linda,
make-
Linda, would you like to make, no, we understand there's already been a roof walk approved.
No,
on
I know
the-
that. I was
Okay.
just gonna say, we take the skirt off it, make it a few feet short, left to right shorter. And take the skirt off the front and put the skirt on the back where you can't see it anyway. And then,
Oh, by the way, I'm fine with that.
okay, I just want to
You know,
make sure.
skirt on the back, fine. Skirt on the front, I would
Take it
not
off.
want.
Okay,
we
And it
still
is all
have a,
natural to weather in gray, by the way.
That's good. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
great.
we have a
um,
motion in the middle of
Yeah,
being
there is a
done.
motion. There is a motion. And so I'm going to take Abby's motion simply because she made it a split second faster than yours, Diane. So on Abby's motion to hold for revisions and send back to HSAB before it reaches us. On that motion, Diane,
Yes,
thank you. Val,
Aye.
very good. John,
How do you vote for revisions?
Yes.
very good. Thank you, John. Abby, on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor too. Motion carries. Thank you all very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and now we're on to 10 Quince. Do we have Stephen or William on board? Oh, right. This was the one that they changed to Nantucket Gray. Anybody on for, oh, there's Bill. Okay, Bill. You know your board, right? Abby, myself, John, Diane, Carrie. Go. William, you're muted, brother.
Oh, here we are. Sorry.
Yep.
So 10 Quince, the recommendation of the board last week was to go to, I've forgotten the name of the color.
Nantucket
It's a
Gray. Oh, no,
No.
it was actually
Platinum
platinum gray.
platinum gray.
Yeah,
Right. We had it as Nantucket, but we had it as a gray, but
that's right.
everybody said the platinum gray.
Right.
Now, I spoke to the owner
Yep.
and they're okay. Okay, so they were okay with the platinum gray, but they wanted to ask one more time. They've painted probably 3/4, well, about half of the house is in the white that was approved last year.
Yes.
And so they were wondering if they could do like the back half of the house in white and the front half of the house in the platinum gray.
Let me make sure I'm getting the whole picture here.
no,
We were talking about the clapboard color, as I
Yes.
recall. And you
Right.
said, oh, well, we have approval for white trim and we
Yes.
want the clapboard because we found the clapboard, all that. And then you were saying Nantucket gray, and we said, no, there's too much of a contrast between the white. And so we suggested going to platinum gray, which is a much lighter gray. And then there was a discussion about whether everything was going to platinum gray or the clapboard was gray and the trim was white. So where are we?
Okay, so I may have misunderstood, but I thought that the board had said they wanted to have all the trim and the clapboard and the sash, the platinum gray. And,
Yeah,
and
right.
so that's what this
And so
application is for.
your question is the back or some of the house is already painted white.
Yes,
And you're asking if the board would entertain the idea of having the back half, the rear L of it painted white and the front going to platinum gray, the trim.
the trim, yes, or if all of the trim and the sash could be white and then just the clapboard being the platinum gray.
All right. All right. Now I
No.
think I understand. So Holly, I think, did HSAB review that
Mr. Chair, no, HTOP didn't look at these since this came back. I was actually under the impression that it was going to be platinum gray for both the trim and the sash. And we're just talking about the clapboard on the facade, not on all sides. Just to make sure that's clear for the record.
Well, let's stop right there because that's the way I saw this. William, do you agree?
Yes, the
Okay.
clapboard is only on the Quinn
the
Street
front.
side,
Right.
on the front.
Okay, good. We agree. Okay, continue, Holly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, but understanding that there was a previous approval to have white, I think that would really do a disservice to this typical Nantucket, pre-Revolutionary War structure to have multiple colors on the structure, regardless of the fact that it can't be, mostly seen from the public way. I will say that this is a larger lot on Quint Street, so you can see on both side elevations. And I think that's important to point out. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Holly. Okay, now it's to the board.
I'll
What do
go.
you think, guys? Okay, Diane, your turn. Go ahead.
We don't paint our house.
Oh, sorry.
Covered in two different colors. It's supposed to be the gray, platinum gray or whatever on the front, and the rest of the house is shingled. This is a historic house. It shouldn't have been painted white. And that's the problem. It would be ridiculous to have the back of it painted white and the front of it the clapboard. Point out one other house that you can that's painted that way, particularly in the old historic district. So I would be totally against it.
Okay. You want it all to be one color.
I want it to be painted the gray in the front and the rest of the stuff shingles.
Oh, no. Okay, so the clapboard is only going on the front facade. I mean,
Right.
shingles everywhere else. Bill agrees to that. But then the trim color, they had already gotten approval for white some time ago. And then William came forward and said, well, we want to do the clapboard in a color, but we want to stick with our approval for the white. And it sounds to me like you don't like that idea.
I don't like that idea. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Got it. No, that's why we're here, Diane. Thank you. Okay, so thanks, Diane. Carrie, you're next.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with the two different colors and white trim and the platinum gray. I think it's just going to loom on Quinn Street. Quinn Street is such a subtle little street, and I think white trim makes anything look very tailored and crisp, and I just don't think it's that appropriate for this old house to have sort of a facelift in this nature. So I'm having a really hard time with it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yeah.
Bill McGuire again, the application really is for the platinum gray on all the trim, the sash and the clapboard. That was just,
Whoa. I thought that you just said you wanted to keep the back of the house white.
oh, no, they were asking if that would be possible, but if the boards, but they're okay with everything going to platinum gray. They were
Oh,
just saying,
okay. Well, listen.
since they started.
I
they
think we can have a much shorter discussion then, because you already have two people against, and you were going to get a third one in me. Okay, so there's your majority, and so if you're able to accept, your client, if your clients are able to accept platinum gray on all the trim and platinum gray clapboard on the front face of the building, I think we're good to go.
Yes,
that's becoming clear to me that that's where this is going. And if you're saying that, that's okay.
That's okay. They just wanted to put the question forward.
Let's get this over with then. So I'm actually going to go back now that we have that new information. I want to go back to Diane. Diane.
Yes.
If I think that what Bill is now describing is something that you would embrace, right?
Right. It'll be fine.
Right.
I would make a motion to approve it.
Okay, I think I'm going to just go with that because I think that's going to sail.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, yes.
it's Holly. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to also point out last go around, I asked, I had photos of where the existing stoop was removed from the facade.
Yes.
As you can see up in the upper right corner, there's our left corner, there's
yeah.
a photo of the stoop. It's going to be reattached. My question to you is, knowing that this structure does have an existing paint color, I'm assuming that existing stoop is natural to weather. I just want to make sure that that's clear. That's going to stay natural to weather once it gets put back.
Can I just say something on that score? And of course, I'm one of 5 members here, but if the trim on the stoop were painted the same gray, I'm not sure that would be objectionable.
I just want to make it clear if that was the way it was going to go.
Natural, but Bill.
Yep, that would be fine.
Well,
I think it would be preferable. The natural weather thing didn't look right to me.
Yeah, no, am I next?
Well, okay, we're getting a little confused here because Diane actually made a motion to approve the gray, but now we're getting a little bit confused because the issue of the stoop that Holly raises, do we want that painted or do we want that natural? So, hey, Diane, can we hold your motion just for a second?
Sure.
To see about this stoop issue? Abby, go.
What is the front stoop? Is that natural to weather or painted? The staircase there.
I think right now, the one that they removed is natural to weather.
Yeah,
And
but
Bill
the one
is saying that they would prefer it to be painted the same gray that we're doing on the rest of the house.
Yeah.
So, but Abby, go ahead.
Okay, so I was just asking if anybody knew about the front door, but I'm okay with the platinum gray overall, trim and sash, and platinum gray for the picket fence and the front stoop.
Okay.
So
Thanks, Abby. So Diane, if you're okay with the idea of the front stoop being painted the same platinum gray,
yeah,
we could just move forward with your motion.
I am totally for that.
Okay. So Diane's motion is for everything, the trim, the clapboard, the stoop, all to be approved as platinum gray. That is Diane's motion. So on Diane's motion, Carrie.
Aye.
Thank you, Abby.
What is the front door?
It's been approved as Hamilton blue.
Okay. Can we
Good.
add that to the motion?
Yep.
Well, it's already approved.
Okay.
And the blue that's on the door right now, PS, is not Hamilton blue.
No, they haven't
No.
painted the door yet.
Yeah, okay. So are you a yes, Abby?
Yeah, I'm a yes.
Very good. Thank you, John. John?
Done.
Comment?
Yeah. Are you okay with the platinum gray for the front of the house, clapboard, sash, everything?
No, I don't, there's other platinum gray in the neighborhood. I find no objection to it.
Right. It doesn't look much different from the existing right here. See the
Exactly.
picture?
That's right. So John's a thumbs up. He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Okay. Thank you, John. And Diane on your motion.
Aye.
All right. And I'm in favor too. So that motion carries. All right. Thanks, Bill.
All right, you're
All
welcome.
right.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. Now we're all.
Maybe see you later.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, so next up is 10 Lincoln Avenue.
Yeah.
Matt, you there?
I'm actually here. Yep.
Here virtual?
I'm actually physical.
They don't, it's funny because the camera, the camera in that auditorium does not cover that area where you're presumably standing right now. Okay, thank you, Matt. Your board is me, Abby, Diane, Val, Stephen. Now, is Stephen with us?
I saw him.
Stephen, are you
Thought I
there?
saw him.
Yes, he is,
I thought
Mr. Chair.
Hey, Stephen? Is he, oh, Stephen, you're muted. Stephen's muted. How do we do that? How do we get him to? Maybe he's Steve. I would really not move forward, prefer
He's
not to move forward with
muted
the
and
four
he's-
person.
And his video is
I'm here.
off. There he
What?
is.
Are you there?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, Matt, your turn.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm just going to start off and talk about the changes that the board's asked us to make. I think we've pretty much done, everything that the board's requested. Why don't we start with the site plan, which I think is probably most helpful.
Matt,
Which
I have no pictures on my
No,
screen.
I think they're getting it up, Diane, or at least I hope.
We're
they
working
are.
on it.
Yeah. Because I can't see anything either.
So while that's coming up, one of the things that we've done is actually reduced the distance that we were requesting to move the house forward. So just to remind everybody, it's a fairly restrained approach to this existing structure. We do want to lift the structure and put a full basement underneath to add some additional program for the Notos and their 5 kids. Clearly, I think that one of the remaining items was the idea of moving it forward. Again, we feel in our opinion that, 15 feet is less than the length of a car, and that was appropriate, but clearly the board suggested that we do something less than that. So we're before you tonight by asking for 9 feet, 6 inches, which is pretty de minimis. We've also included a landscape plan to show what the long-term plan is here, just to allay anyone's fears about overdevelopment or, whatever the concerns are. I don't know if it's up yet, but I do think the landscape plan would be helpful to see, you can kind of see our intention is to actually reuse the existing garage, convert that into a pool guest house, not put a second story on it. That would remain behind the main dwelling. We want to add a zoning shed. Obviously, there's a pool and a garage. Again, all these structures are 1 story and they're behind the main dwelling. The property across the street, for example, is a house of an older age than our structure, and there was a new house built in front of it. We don't intend to do that. We want to maintain the presence on the street, and we understand that that's very important.
Sadly, Matt.
Across the street.
Diane and I still don't have video. Diane, Stephen, and I actually.
Okay.
Here it comes. We got it.
Come here.
I think we got it. It's loading up. Nope. False alarm.
What's the matter with it?
Hmm.
Did this to the end of the meeting?
I can
okay.
tell you that it looks really good. For if you guys can't see it, looks really, really good.
Paint us a picture,
And it's
Matt.
completed.
Paint us a picture.
I think that was
I
it.
see
No?
the checklist.
They're not going to see it.
So
So
getting almost there and then no.
right. I'll continue if that makes sense, Mr. Chair, just in the interest of time. The
Yeah,
other
which
changes-
I appreciate, but
Yeah, you can't
at a
see it.
certain point, we got to have some visuals here.
I could actually hold up my drawings to the video
Mhm.
camera in the
Yeah,
in this
again,
room. That would be
I
best.
appreciate your intentions.
Yeah,
Hey,
there you go. Can you all see that now?
yeah.
There.
Yeah. Okay. So Matthew,
Yes,
were there any other changes?
there are.
Oh, okay. In addition to the reduction in the amount that you're moving it forward, there were other changes.
There are. They're
Okay,
minor,
now you
but-
can
but
describe
relevant.
those changes because we got visual.
So you can actually see now the landscape plan. So it's not this overdeveloped, parcel. Again, what part of the reason we want to move this structure forward a little bit, is to, to give us a little bit more breathing room in the back of the property. That's really it. So that's number one. If we switch to sheet, bear with me here, this thing's a little sluggish. A 1.5, there's some perspective. So the other significant change was we had gable dormers, which I preferred the gable dormers, but I think that the board's consensus was to stick with the sheds. So that's what we've done. Change from gables to shed dormers. We've tried to cloud the elevations in a way that the darker clouds are the more recent revisions. So that's a great shot there, just to kind of show you that those are the 3 shed dormers and the project as a whole, which again, our approach here, I think, is fairly restrained. We love the house. We want to celebrate it and make, minimal changes. So the other, yes.
Excuse me for interrupting, but is it true that you plan to redo all the trim and like increase the amount of rake and eave overhangs?
That's not part of
it. Looks like the trim package on the house is getting stepped up because, I know this house pretty well, and the trim on the existing house is quite simple. Are you changing that?
I don't think that's our plan. No, I think that everything that's there
is funny because it looks like you have some serious rake overhangs here. No,
just might be the line weights.
Okay. All right. But so the plan is not to really amp up the trim.
Embellish. No.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Continue. Sorry.
All right. Moving on, the next sheet, which is A2.2, the rear elevation, the south elevation. The board asked that we actually add a panel, make these French doors in the backside, 12 lights. Again, I think referencing the landscape plan, you'll notice that I don't think that this is really going to be visible. There's some pretty existing tall privet hedge there. And I would just finish, we were simultaneously applying to the ZBA because technically the house is just over 30. We're not increasing the height. And so we've kind of put our applications on hold, but we did get 2 letters of support, which were not, we didn't reach out to these people, but both on, see here, 4 Capom Road, the Jack McDonald basically said, we welcome our new neighbors and support any improvements to their property that reflect the principles of the Nantucket HDC and ZBA. 2 Capom Road, the Keiths wrote, it's our opinion that this is a much more neighbor friendly and acceptable request of the Notos to ask to be allowed to have their home lifted in order to annex a full basement and be allowed to have the home move forward in order to accommodate a larger yard area that they will utilize for a family of 5 children to entertain and play sports. And that's really all we're asking for. We really think that this application is completely approvable. It celebrates the existing architecture, and thankfully that the Notos bought it, and it's not going to be subdivided into 3 lots. I know that's not your jurisdiction, but that's a real possibility, or that was. So always is. So I was very excited that the Notos purchased it and to be a part of it, and hopefully you feel the same way. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
All right, Matt. Thank you. Let's see, Holly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as you all remember, this is the beautiful Queen Anne built circa 1902, the binnacle, should say. And AHSAB took a look at the revisions on March 28th. They said that this house should remain where it is, keeping it in alignment with the other adjacent buildings. The dormers need to be dropped down off the upper roof and become a little shorter. The 5-gang door is too modern. It should be broken up to 1 set of French doors with flanking windows. The existing first floor multi-pane window east side is an important vestige of an older era and should remain. And HSAB would like to respectfully request seeing revisions if you're so inclined. I did receive a comment from Brooke, who was reviewed, but he was not in attendance that day, and he did provide some comments. Building is moving forward 12 feet. Dormer roof lines are still breaking at the gambrel break. They should be continuous. Appreciate the 3rd floor windows and doors are at least similar to what is existing. Really do not like losing the multi-pane picture unit on the 1st floor east elevation. It is a statement window that defines this type of architecture and should remain. The 5-gang doors facing south is highly visible and should be rethought. It does not appear this changed since the last review. From staff's perspective, this is still proposed to be relocated on site. The streetscape is changed with both the relocation proposal and the new driveway off of Lincoln Circle. Historically, this was off of Capalm for a reason. This drastically changes the character and setting of this historic structure. Do appreciate the shed dormers on the facade that harken back to the 1890s, 1900s, and appreciate the wide windows proposed for them. The 5 French doors on the Capalm side are still not appropriate, and two more sets on the west as well. Appreciate the chimney put back. I did thought that they were existing. I too am familiar with this structure. I've actually been inside of it few times, and do appreciate this character. Just one comment on the dormers on the facade. Again, they look great. I was just wondering if that was the existing pitch or not. I do, again, Queen Anne doesn't have those typical pitches off of shed dormers, so just wanted to question that. Those are the comments, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
I could answer that question.
Actually, hey, Arthur, you're there in the queue, and I should have let you go after Matt spoke. Do you have anything that you want to say on this?
Not at this time, Ray. I'm here and may have something to say at some point, but
okay,
right now, no.
Fair enough. Thanks. And is there anybody in the queue who is representing neighbors? I know that you have been there in the past. If so, unmute and give us your name for the record. Anybody? Okay. All right. With that, I am going to pass it over to my fellow board members. Let's see. Who'd like to begin?
I'll go if nobody else is going to go.
You go ahead, Diane. You got
Okay.
it. Thank you. You're brave.
Yes. Well, I can't do it all. I haven't got the brains tonight to do it all. But the windows, the French door windows, I've only got my thing as the north elevation and one east elevation. So
Do you want to see the others?
Yeah, right there.
There we
What's
go.
that? That's the south elevation. Right now, I am not in favor of moving the house 9 feet, 6 or whatever. I might say that maybe I'm suspicious that a pool is going in the back, and that's why they want to move the house forward.
Well,
what if
I
it
think
was?
that your suspicions are confirmed because Matt showed us a site plan that includes the pool. So
Not hiding anything.
He's basically put his cards on the table on that one. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm putting my cards on the table
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
I don't think that a pool is so suitable up here behind on the bluff, looking at the water down the low part, and with the other houses that were connected to this house as the history went on, that a pool is what I don't feel is part of the neighborhood. That's one thing. And the south elevation with the 5 windows, I believe Hassab said that they were not good in this place. I think their windows with the very sort of rectangular windows are interesting. I don't mind the window on the west elevation. I don't know the shed dormer on the south elevation looks like it has been there before. It's a previous submission. I don't mind it. I'm glad the chimney is going back. I think that's important. And part of the features of this building. If I could drop down to get, did I look at the north?
You want to see the north elevation?
Yeah, which is going to be the front door? That it's
That
going to
will,
be,
yeah, this north is the side that faces Lincoln Circle. So that big old door that you see right there is, I believe, the existing door.
yeah,
It's a
it
very
is.
wide door, yeah.
I would like to see a more traditional door in that spot.
That's original.
Yes. So Diane, I think that's the original door.
Is it back to 1902 or whatever?
Yeah, it's actually, it may not look it from Matt's drawings, but it's a fabulous door. It's 4
it?
feet wide and it actually has 2 screen doors, because the door is so wide, they had to do double screens.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good because it goes with those wide windows beside it. The drawing is so light, it's hard to see what those windows consist of, whether they're, I don't know what they are, what over what. They're not 6 over 6.
Yeah, it's really light. Matt, there's, it looks like 2 over,
You zoom in, I think there are 6 over 1s on the 3rd floor.
oh, 6,
and
yeah, they're definitely
the
6
upper-
over 1. No,
Yes.
6
They're
over,
multi-pane over 2
yeah.
on the 2nd floor as well.
Yeah, that's what they are there. So I think that facade with all its stuff fits in. Well, I mean, it's all related and it looks, it's simple. It's not a complicated doodad all over. So I think I would like to see the landscaping proposal, but I just, on the personal thing that is included in this drawing is I don't want to see it moved and I don't want the pool brought up.
Okay, thank you, Diane.
It's
Who's the next one?
the next sheet. The
I
landscape.
can be fast. You want to?
Yeah, thanks, Abby. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have, don't move forward. It's just so nice the way all the houses are in a line like, I
So
mean.
no historic house move period for anybody moving forward. Is that the rule?
Well,
No,
no, hang
no,
on.
no,
Let's
it's
remember,
individual.
just remember,
Let
that's all.
Abby speak. Matt, go ahead.
So, yeah, not in on that. The 3rd floor dormers, I'm not, why do they not read as quiet as the existing ones?
Can
And
I
I was
tell you
wondering
why?
if it, yeah, I want to know why. It just seems like the
HSAB
top is
actually brought it
heavy.
up. HSAB brought it up and it's actually like going to be my biggest concern. The break point of the dormer, where the dormer hits the roof, is not happening at the break point of the 2 chords of the gambrel. It's happening above that. So I would, personally, I'd like to see that come down and come off of the break point of the gambrel. That's what I think is looking, if you look at the original thing, like you can get that from the existing north elevation, the dormers are pink. See how the top of the dormer lines up with the break point of the gambrel? It doesn't in this. It sits above that.
If I could, through you, Mr. Chair, the reason for that is so that you could actually see out the window, because the existing window is so low. That's why I thought the gables were the more appropriate solution, because the eave lines drop down and then we don't get that break. But, and I'm happy to go back to the
I'm
gables.
I'm explaining to Abby about.
Thank you so much.
But sorry, Abby, continue.
Yeah, the other thought I had was the trim board right underneath it seems heavy. I don't know if that could be reduced, but.
We could totally reduce it. And like I said, we've included the gable version, which is the previous, which again, I think addressed, dropped the height. So.
Anyway, that's, how you figure that out. So, and then I was wondering on the east elevation, in the existing, to the left of where you go up the steps, is that an old window? It seems like an old multi-pane window.
On which?
On the existing, on the 1st floor.
Yes, that is, yes.
Could that be retained just to give it, some history
We are,
character?
through you, Mr. Chair, we are reusing that. And we didn't cloud it, but it is being reused and moved around the corner. on the south elevation. So we are taking it from the east and moving it to the south. So we are keeping it.
Well, you know, if Abby wants it to stay where it is, you could also just cover it over on the inside.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I see it on the porch.
Yeah.
You know what? That's nice, but maybe could you just duplicate it and just leave the original?
If it means an approval, I would happily do that.
Okay. Abby, continue.
That's all I got. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right. All right.
Great.
Well, thanks, Abby. Let's see. Stephen, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Ready?
Yep. So, yeah, I actually had brought up, I agree with you all on the shed dormers. I think they draw the eye, given the break point is not a continuation of the roof plane of the upper chord. I actually brought that up a couple meetings ago. That is more traditional. And I'll note that part of what I'm saying there is that the roof pitch is the same. It extends down past. More typically than not anyways. It's not written in stone, as we all know. The other thing obviously is the move. I don't think it's appropriate for this structure in that location. I do believe there are historic structures that can be moved depending on the conditions, but and circumstances that are involved, but everything needs to be on a case-by-case basis. I don't have any concerns with any of the fenestration or other changes that had been proposed previously or discussed this evening. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Stephen. Val Oliver, your turn.
Okay. I do see this as a two-part application, one part being the move and the other, the alterations. In terms of the alterations, I really appreciate what Matt has done. I think it really does pay homage to the original building. I do concur with your thoughts about the shed dormers. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it's simply the roof pitch, I think, right? So I agree with that. The south 5 bank of doors, I think should be 2 of maybe 4 doors instead of 5, which is more traditional, or 2 sets separated. And then on the west, maybe have those doors match. It's 2 different sets of doors, I think, that are probably in the same area. So it would be good if they matched. I don't mind the balcony on the front. I think it's pretty subtle shingled in the way it is. And let me see what I wrote. In terms of the move, I guess looking at the locus map, it's sort of on the same plane as the 2 on the sides of it, which, if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, Holly, perhaps. These 3 buildings were all one at one point,
Yeah.
right? So I don't think it should move for that reason, although the majority of it is still in the same location. I just would hate to see it proud of the other 2. And thank you for not cutting the driveway in that way. Let's see.
When you say thank you for not cutting in the driveway that way, what do you mean?
Because originally on one of the applications, there was going to be a driveway cut in from Lincoln, I think, and you abandoned that idea?
No,
we
it's still
haven't.
there.
I mean, that's not before you, but that's why we've showed you on the landscape plan. That is our intent to have a curb cut, because
Oh, well,
Lincoln is on the right-hand side of this site plan.
correct. I didn't know that was before us today, so I'm not in favor of that.
it officially is not, but in
Okay.
the interest of full disclosure and transparency,
Yeah.
which we've had from the beginning, we wanted to show you what our actual plans are.
Okay. I think that's it.
Okay. Thanks, Val.
Sure.
Matt, I only have two issues. Well, no, I actually only have one issue. I'm actually okay with the idea of moving the building forward 9.5 feet. But I'm very much in the minority on that one. What I do have difficulties with is the third floor dormers, and I understand the idea of with the pitch dormer and meeting the two chords of the gambrel, and I was in that third floor, and yes, the windows are low, but I think I would want you to stick with the sheds, but B, I would also like to return to the idea that the dormer is coming off of the break point between the two roof planes, like I described earlier. And maybe the way that you get that is right now I'm looking at a decent amount of space between the sill of the window and the bottom edge of the dormer where it hits the roof, which means that you can move the dormer further back, which means that, you know, you might be able to get that roof down and still have a decent head height for the window. But that for me would be something, I don't like the gable dormers, and I don't think that you got a lot of support for the gable dormers from anyone. So I wouldn't want to go back to that. I'd like to see work out, you know, the shed arrangement. That's it for me. What would we like to do, folks?
Mr. Chair, can I offer?
Yes. Hold
Ask a
on.
question.
Wait. First, Matt, go briefly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What I was going to offer is just because we're 25 weeks into this project.
Okay.
I can actually take the shed dormer and push it back 9 inches. And I think that will bring it more into alignment with the main roof pitch. And we can withdraw I can withdraw the chimney, and I can withdraw the move
When you say withdraw the chimney.
We offered the chimney just because one of the board members asked if we could add it. And at this point, I don't know, does it matter?
That's what I was going to ask about, Matt, was the chimney.
Well,
I want the chimney.
we're willing to
not
withdraw the
take
move at this stage
want-
because we just need to get a building permit. We want to move the ball
Okay.
forward. So
Let
I'd
me make
remove
sure.
the move and push the face of the dormers back. Chimney, if it stays or goes, it's up to you.
Stay.
But let's make sure that, so it sounds like the chimney would stay. You're suggesting not moving the building at all.
I mean, I would
Right.
take anything we could get. If it's 4 feet, 5 feet, I'll take
Okay,
it.
but you know, I'm kind of asking about the dormers because that was my area of concern,
Mm-hmm.
my one area. To me, it has to look like the existing north elevation where the break point at the top of the dormer meets that line. I don't want to be closer to it. I want to meet that line. And if the window head has to drop down in order to be able to affect that, to get that to work, that would need to happen.
You know, I think the only way for me to figure that out is to actually do it. One of the critical pieces, I mean, I'm obviously disappointed and a little frustrated here, so I apologize. But one of the primary points of this project was to actually get to be able to stand at that dormer and actually look out the window. And so I will do everything I can to make it, work based on what you're suggesting. I'm not sure how far back into the face it gets pushed. I personally believe, and I know you don't agree with this, and I totally respect your opinion, but the gable dormers to me were the solution, because it gives everybody everything they need. But I guess I could tell you, I would say that as long as I can maintain 6'6" in terms of window header height, or maybe 6'4", is that
Okay.
acceptable?
Okay, so no, Matt, you're kind of like wanting us to move forward on trust. You're saying I want 6'6" for the window head height, but oh, maybe it will be in the top roof plane, and oops, too bad.
Well, if you want to make the criteria, the eve line to line up, I'll do the best I can, but if it's a through staff element, you can set the criteria, the datum, and we'll meet that.
All right. So I want to go back and get a sense of the board, because obviously the big thing for most of the people sitting on this application was the house move.
Right.
And I believe, like, Val in particular, I think Val said, well, the move of the house, she said, I broke it down into two parts, and the house move being one of them. So
We all agreed on that.
I'll go.
yeah, Stephen, thanks.
So my thoughts are that this can be done through staff without the move. While I am concerned about the dormers, I think, if we just kind of generally outline, we're looking for coplanar, maybe a little smaller. For me, it's just that it's coplanar. It's the same pitch on
Yeah.
the same break. But I'll note that, I spent a lot of time out in the field, and I know we spend a lot of time going over these things, and we want them to be perfect. And I don't have a problem with that so much as just to say that it's amazing to me that some of the things we've spent time on, you just don't notice. And part of the reason you don't notice is because so many of these homes, the patina is that they aren't perfect. They're architectural elements, unless it's a 4-bay or a 3-bay or a 5-bay. They don't have that symmetrical, everything's exact. And this is a gambrel, I think, is a great example of a gambrel that isn't, picture perfect out of the gate. So if these don't come in exactly as I think that would be appropriate, I'm okay with that. And that's why I'm willing to cede that we would just give a general guidance and do it through staff. I hope that's
Okay.
helpful.
Fair. Well, yeah, I kind of need to know from everyone where they stand now to see whether this is going to get support. Who else wants? Diane, go ahead.
Couldn't we at least see what he's got planned for those dormers and put it in on Thursday, which is only 2 days away before he would get permission? I think that.
I would do that.
All right.
That's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
Make
That's a
a
good idea.
motion to hold for Thursday with
Yeah.
revisions.
Okay. So
I'll
Matt,
second that.
That was Stephen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So wait, no, sorry, I'm confused. Abby made the motion, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So on Abby's motion, Stephen, you seconded. So yes. Diane,
Yes.
thank you. Val.
Okay.
Okay. Abby, on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. So the motion, just for you, Terry, is that this will return to us on Thursday with an actual drawing that represents how the dormers would work. Okay?
Thank you.
It. Okay, so thanks, Matt. Ba-da. All right, now.
I'm
it's
holding
Val.
mine.
What?
Are you
You're
kidding?
holding yours?
Yep.
Damn it. I wanted
For
to
Thursday.
break. So
I'm not prepared.
okay.
After that, forget it.
What do you mean? I'm sure.
Like to hold.
Okay, all right. So people sit. Oh,
I'm holding.
Yeah, no, Abby, you're chairing. So can you just do the motion to hold thing?
Okay, so do I hear a motion to hold 28 Prospect Street?
I make a motion.
Thanks, Diane. On the motion, Ms. Thornwell,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
John, we're gonna hold Valerie's till Thursday.
Mhm.
Thursday.
Thank you.
And myself, that's it. Thank you, Diane, on your motion.
Aye. Aye.
All right. Abby, you're in favor of it too, I guess. Abby?
Yes, I was in on that.
All right, so that one's good. Now we're to 232 Madiquette, myself, Abby, John, Diane, Carrie. Do we have somebody to rep?
Yes, good evening, Josiah Newman representing.
Hey, you.
How are you?
Good, thank you. All right.
So I believe the consensus was they'd like us to shorten the building overall. There were some curved brackets on the north and west elevations that we removed and replaced with posts. We changed the window layout a little bit, removed the skylights and tried to simplify as much as possible, change some windows on the east and west elevations. And here we are.
Can we get a pic? There it is.
There.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
We did maintain the 912 pitch. It matches the main house along with the 2/2 windows. We could shorten it a little bit more, but it would change the pitch, and I didn't think it would match up with the main house very well.
So Josiah, just in the future, could you please bubble what you've
Yes.
revised? Because now I'm doing this little back and forth between the previous to
Yes,
see
of course.
where everything's changed. All right, 20. So it used to be 25.4, now it's 24.6.
Correct.
So you've dropped almost a foot out of the height.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Remove the
Can we
curved
see the
bracket.
next sheet, please? And then I'd like to hear from the board. Actually, does this go to Madiquette Advisory, or where is it on Madiquette Road? Josiah?
Yes, it did go to Madiquette Advisory Board at least once. I don't know if it went back again.
Mr.
We'll
Chair,
find out. Yeah.
it,
Yes.
it did go the first time. I don't believe it went to the second time. At least
Okay.
I was not aware of it.
All right. Thank you. And here's, excuse me, God.
Mr. Poole, Chairman person, what, could the applicant say what elevation faces Madiquette Road? Because I think
Yes.
that's,
The north elevation faces Madiquette Road.
okay, thank you.
There you go. That one. The one with the little entry portico thingy. Okay. All right. So no further comments from Madiquette Advisory. So it's up to the board. Who would like to start?
I'll go.
Thanks.
I still think that the stairs shouldn't come down towards the road. I think just with construction, it's going to open it up for visibility, and the bike path is right there. And I just don't think it's very seemly to have the stairs coming right down towards the street. And I also think I'm mostly focusing on this north and west elevation because I think those are the visible ones. I think the porticos are a little fanciful and not really in keeping with the simple shape of this building. I think the windows on the north are still a little wacky, and I think maybe with a simpler shed roof over the door and a few less windows, a little less chaotic would be more appropriate. That's it.
Okay. All right. So shed roofs as opposed to hip roofs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the staircase thing. All right. Thank you, Carrie. Let's see. Diane, you're on this.
Yep, the garage north elevation, I would take out 2 of those windows on the second floor and have one up at the top to 2 and 2. As he's got them drawn, the 2 out, the outside one would be over the first floor one, and you wouldn't have that sort of unevenness, and it would be good. And I do feel also that Carrie is right about the stair. that goes down the west elevation. Surely it could be tucked in the back, take it the other way and go down the back, which would be, I don't know what, the south elevation, I guess.
Yes. You're talking about running it along the south elevation as opposed to
Yeah.
running it along the west elevation.
What difference does make it? Up there would be the same. We'd just pick the stairs up and flip them around the corner there. It's
Oh,
right on the
interesting.
corner.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
And then you wouldn't have that coming down over the, next to the front door.
Mhm.
Because it is a garage, or at least it's called that. And 24 feet is just within our scope of garage. And in the previous submission, it was too heavy on windows. So going with what's there, the only other thing I would say is I don't see any, the floor plans, is that 32 feet long, I think is long for a garage. If it's a garage with an apartment above it, then that is something else. But if the front part of it is the garage, that maybe that roof would be lower to there and make the break for the stuff over the garage where the so-called apartment would be. It's just a long roof for a garage, I think, that's all.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. All right, let's see. Abby, you ready?
Yeah, I think that the north elevation is going to be quite well visible from Madiquette Road. And I think the configuration of windows is very odd, and I'd like to see that still worked out further. Also that there's another A of the same size right up in the gable. I think that should at least be smaller. I think this pointed sort of roof over the front door and side is a little ornate for this simple building. It should be something more straightforward. I think the right-hand side stairs going up to the second floor should be not as wide and pulled into the building. That's about it.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. John, your turn. John?
Okay. Thank you, Ray. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Going to page G3.
Yep, we got it. Go
And
ahead.
it should, right, yeah, it's on the west elevation. The upstairs door
That's previous. This is what we're looking at.
Thanks,
already
Carrie.
existed.
No, this is all new, but you're looking at the previous submission. This
Yeah.
is the current. This is the current submission.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking that just like the other ones that I mentioned, the doors, you have too much, you got more glass than wood on your panel, but the down bottom panel and your glass above it, it just makes it heavier on glass than if you to put a regular different door in there. That's my only comment. Thank you.
All right, John, thank you. And Josiah, I've got nothing to add. I think whatever my concerns are, the hipped roof versus shed roof, the staircase have already been said. So I think we're looking at some revisions.
Motion to hold for a few more revisions.
Yeah, thanks, Abby. On Abby's motion, Diane,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
thank you, John. John on the motion,
I'm here. Yeah.
just say yes. Aye, right?
Aye.
Thank you. Very good. Abby?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries. Okay. Hey, oh, Abby, are you taking off?
No, I'm just standing up.
Oh, good. Because can you, now that we're to new business, can you share this one? I just need to go grab a sweater and some water.
Absolutely, yeah, you
All right,
can't wear a t-shirt.
Yeah, I know. I'm starting to, I was fine a little while ago and now I'm starting to freeze. So I'll be back in just a sec, but yeah, if you could take care of it. Thanks. I'll be back.
Oh, first $8,000. New foundation. Who's representing this?
I am, Madam Chairman.
Hi, Stephen.
How are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Want to tell us what you're doing?
Absolutely. This is $8,000, known as Y'all, built in 1949. It's a non-contributing structure at this location. Unfortunately, much like a lot of the homes back then, there's no foundation underneath it. It's sitting on the dirt, and the first floor structure is rotted away. We're basically raising the structure and putting a crawl space underneath it. And it's the same location, same height, no change in height, no change in grade. Just putting in a new crawl space foundation and then redoing the first floor on it and some window changes. We've already received zoning board of appeals approval to do so in its current location, to pick it up, put it back down.
Steve.
Yes.
It's hard to hear you. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Basically, we're raising the house, putting a new foundation underneath it, and repairing and replacing the first floor because it's sitting on the dirt and is rotted away. There's no change in the height of the building. The height is staying the same. We have some window, not changes, but replacements due to rot. And we've added a little extra height on the end of the house for a master bathroom. Other than that, that's the only changes, and we have already received zoning board of appeals approval to do so.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a circa 1949 Y'all, and it is contributing. At the time of the HDC survey that's in the file in 1989, it was not. However, it is. I do want to mention that there is, and there is a discrepancy on the age, and I always want to be transparent since we're working on updating our surveys. But my folks, my lovely preservation colleagues at Penn and Nantucket Preservation Trust actually have information on file that's 1890. So there's a possibility that's actually older than the HDC survey. Just want to notate that for the record. This is around the area of Underhill's cottages. Sconset did take a look at this on March 28th. The foundation, minimal amount of exposed foundation, perhaps a sconset trench with gravel setback for shingles. No more than 8 inches of foundation exposed and retained floor height should be done. Shed roof on the south elevation should be lowered to line up with other shed roof heights on that elevation.
Which side, Holly?
The south elevation. The proposal also includes changing the existing 3-tab over to cedar roof. That's appropriate. This is actually now my comments for the record. Appreciate retaining the existing green trim color that's historic to the structure. Not all existing elevations are provided, nor is it really clear what was being proposed on each elevations. And it could be just because I'm looking at the half size, not the actual hard copies that you all have in front of you. I just wanted to mention that. An outdoor shower enclosure looks like it's being proposed on the facade. I do notate that this structure is elongated along the road there. So maybe that's the only location that it can be provided, but I just wanted to clarify that. And I believe that was it. Those are the comments, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Holly.
If I could just quickly address Holly's comments, just to clear things up. The outdoor shower is tucked away. If you look at the first floor plan behind the node that protects it from the street, it will have, no, that's the bulkhead area. Outdoor showers back on the left-hand side in the large bubble next to the bathroom. If you go up the cursor on the first floor plan, you'll see it's right near that window there, the third window, which is tucked in behind that elevation, so it's not visible from the 8 Grand Avenue, but it may have a slight visibility to the street from the driveway. If we look at the Sanborn maps, it clearly shows that the building was not there prior to 1949, as I had listed it from the Sanborn maps. The lot was empty in the 1900s into the 1930s, and then there was some small cottages on that lot prior to its construction in 1949. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a historic fact here that I was a chambermaid at the Moby Dick Inn in 1966. So I can date it back to there.
The start of the National Historic Preservation Act.
So who would like to go first?
I will.
Okay, Val.
I appreciate the raising of the building to a minimal. Is that with a mud block? Is that how that's going to be achieved? Number one.
Yes.
And number two, the south leftmost wing where the shower is getting added and those walls are getting lifted. That eave line is higher than the main house eave line, so I think that should probably come down somewhat along with the Tesla car charger. And the little window on the south that's just single panes, like little chiclets going across the middle section behind where the shower is that window getting recreated somewhere, or that's just going away, is my other question.
The window's existing, Val. It's just being raised. If you look at the existing elevation, it's currently there.
Yeah, it's currently there. Is it going away because you're putting a shower in?
Yeah.
No, it's going up. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, wrong window. Yes, that is correct.
I can't hear him.
I know.
You're correct, Val.
Stephen, is that window staying there or?
No, it's going away.
It's going away.
Yes.
I think we got that now. Sal, any more? about-
No, I think that wing should come down a little bit to give homage to the main part of the building.
Okay. Thank you, Val. John,
Thank you. Compatible to what I see here, I find this here fits right in with the
Andrew, what are you doing?
cottage style of sconce. It fits right in with what they are. I don't see anything objectionable.
Okay.
Objectionable. Thank you.
thank you. Diane,
Yeah, I think that proposed south elevation to the left should come down, so it is not over the other roof lines. And I don't know, it's a cute little building. There's not much that I can see. Steve, how is that window made? It looks like it's tall panes of glass, the one where the shower is going to go. Is that, you can't use it somewhere else? What is that made of?
it's just an old fashioned window, Diane.
I can certainly use it in the inside. I can actually keep it there if you want to, just block it out on the inside. That's not a problem.
I'm not sure you're going to see very much of it with the shower. You would see a little bit, but I just wondered, it was a sort of unusual thing, and I
Yeah,
think
it's
roof will look
existing.
great as wood. And how are you going to raise it to get underneath to make crawl space
Toscana's gonna lift it up.
That's the one.
and go out? Okay, very good. There's that window.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope you can use it inside. I think it's good. I hate to lose it.
Be happy to.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Diane. We need one alternate. Does anybody know who's up? Carrie, or is it you or Stephen?
I think Carrie's next.
I think Carrie's next.
Okay, Carrie.
I appreciate that you're preserving this building and doing sort of minimal work to it. I do agree with the others that we should bring down the plate of the little addition at the end. And I wonder if you have the ground cover just to extend that left piece down. So it just, you're gaining a little ground cover, but just bring that line down to where the existing one is. So you don't lose your space.
We don't have the ground cover, Carrie, and we're locked in by the ZBA to the footprint, okay? Are we talking about just where the 3 light window is bringing that eave down a little bit?
Yeah, just bring it down and keep that window low.
Can we zoom in on that dimension, please, for me?
Zoom in on what?
The dimension of that plate height right there? This one over here?
So 6'3".
Yeah, it's 6'3" tall, guys. I mean, how much lower can we make it in order to get a shower in there, you know?
It simply is because it is higher than the front door piece.
I understand that, but the front door is like 5'9".
I'm not gonna argue.
Step down into the shower.
Right.
Okay, so what's the consensus here?
If the,
I said, save the window at the shower, please. I guess I didn't say that.
Yeah, he said he would save that.
Okay. So what do we want to do about the height of this left-hand side?
I think it needs to be lowered, and if it has to be that they have to step down inside, that's what you have to do.
What can you give us, Steve?
You know, I can give you maybe, I can bring that down to 4 inches lower. I can get it down to just under 6 feet.
You need to match the other one. that's there.
I agree.
Can you match that other side on the other side of that with the 2 3/3s?
If that's what it takes and we can go through staff, yes.
Yeah, I think we can probably do that.
And it's a washing machine and dryer, not a shower.
There.
Okay, so Steve's given us to bring it down to match the little bump out there with the 2 3/3s.
No, just to match the eave height where the front door is, which is a little bit higher than that.
Do you want to create?
I will. Motion to approve through staff with the farthest left shed mass with the 3 light window to have its eave line match the eave line where the front door is.
Okay, on that motion, Diane,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and myself, I'm an aye. So I guess that passes, Steve.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. Have a great night, okay?
You too.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Abby. Brooke, you up?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit off this because I'm doing a job for this same client somewhere else.
Okay, very good. So Stephen, I think it's to you.
Gracias.
De nada. Okay, Brooke.
Yes, so this is a new office slash residence on 108.5 Old South Road. It is adjacent to Marianne Drive. The photos that you see there are surrounding structures. And I think you will see that what I'm proposing will fit in nicely in that area compared to what's there.
Okay.
And I'll look forward to your comments. Thanks.
So it's adjacent to Marianne, but it actually faces Old South.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the south faces Old South. Mhm. How tall is it?
Ray,
Yes.
I'm double checking some. If this is the one I think it is, the lot in front of it, right on South Road, is cleared like they're planning to put something in there.
Oh, you know what? Yes. I know
So,
where.
yeah, whatever they
right.
do. And also this kind of area should be declared an HDC free zone. So much is going on this street that is so wild and
Well,
weird.
do you mean Old South Road or Marianne? or both?
Marianne, that whole corner of Old South and Marianne, there's just a lot of weirdness in there. And this is an odd neighborhood.
Oh, thank you.
But right now it looks like this might end up actually being screened from Old South. And there are
okay.
and there's some
so-
trees in front of it and a little cottage. Am I right, Brooke?
No, it faces directly onto Old South Road.
So the cleared
If you zoom
area
out, you
might
can
be where
Oh,
this is
okay.
It's right on the
'Cause it
bike
looks-
path.
Oh, this is going in the cleared area.
It is, there are two lots there. So if you zoom out, you
Okay.
can see you to the left, there are
Oh,
three
okay.
parking
So this will
spots,
be
and it
directly
goes to
across
the-
from the, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is the cleared lot because
This
that,
it is the cleared lot.
okay. Yeah.
Where's
So
the
it would be right on the road.
It will be, yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's
Or-
still it's like,
right on the bike
this is
path.
just understand that there's a lot of weirdness right in this area.
Yep.
So it's, it would have to be really bad to not fit into the area.
Well,
There is no existing house. This is an empty lot.
yeah, it's dirt right now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a picture in one of those, which it shows her house, and it's the only one-story building in the entire area.
Yeah, well, there's one way down the road, but there's, that little one-story cottage right in
Yep.
front. Right, there
Yep.
you go. There's the little cottage
Yep.
right in front. Then there's that cottage building right behind it,
Yeah.
which is like 1 to 2. And this will be sitting in front of all of that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the
Okay.
2.5-story building too as well. So, I mean, what I'm proposing is 1.5 stories. There's no
Yeah.
third floor.
I'm ready.
All
I'm
right,
ready to
thank
go.
you.
That's you, Val, right?
Well, close to it, Abby.
Oh, sorry. It's hard to tell from this
Yeah,
Zoom.
well, so I've
Abby,
looked
go.
at it and I know the site. I just drove by today and I think it's appropriate. So I don't have any comments.
Okay, thanks, Abby. Val's off. That's right. Let's see, Diane.
It looks appropriate to me also.
Okay, Stephen.
I'm not going to buck the trend.
Hey, good for you. John, anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one comment for 3 items. On south, north, and west elevation.
Yeah.
These doors have more glass than it does wood, and I've always felt it's better to change it than have it look bad. And these 3 should be replaced with another type. not a Frenchman, but that door, whatever they want, we'll put something else in it. These look too heavy on the top. That's my comment.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, John.
Sure.
It sounds to me like we have enough votes for an approval of this guy.
Yeah, lift off. I didn't understand what John wanted though, otherwise.
John was looking for less glass in the doors.
In the front door?
Yeah, I mean, he actually mentioned all three doors, but
Well, I mean, I think the side doors, we allow glass in the side doors, but
Yeah,
the
we
front
always-
door, I'm
we
with you
always
on the
do.
front door.
Well, so this is a kind of a commercial structure, and so I think we can kind of give a little bit there.
Well,
And this is Marianne Drive.
no,
Lane,
it's not. You
whatever.
said it was Old South Road.
well, it's
Whatever,
somebody's
it's the
drive.
same thing.
Okay. Well, anyway, so what's the pleasure of the board? Like,
Well, I
I'll
was going to
entertain
motion
any
to
motion.
approve, but if there's. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. So Abby has made a motion to approve. On that motion, Stephen,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
John,
There was a motion to approve it as is.
Yeah, it's a lot of the spaces in there are commercial.
I'll bend a little on it too. Okay.
was that an aye or?
That was a sort of an eye. Was that an eye? Was that an eye? Yes, that was an eye.
Okay, and Abby on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thanks. 6 Walsh.
Oh, I just found 6 Walsh.
Hi there.
It's what?
Coming at you, John.
Everybody on this one? So it would
I'll
seem-
sit off.
But I'm not hearing, oh, hell.
I'm here.
It's
Yeah.
Carrie.
Carrie's here and Stephen's here.
No, but, so Val, you are sitting off of this,
I'm still off, yeah.
so that's to carry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
So this one was already previously approved, like 7 years ago or something, and we just want to resurrect it. He actually wants to proceed with it as drawn, as previously approved.
Okay, you just let it lapse.
Yeah, it lapsed. Yep.
And nothing's changed?
Nope, same applications before.
Just the same, okay. Walsh. Okay, well, so, do we have HSAB on this?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we do.
Okay, let's
For the
hear that.
record, I wasn't aware that this was a actual renewal, although I see that there now from 2014. But for your, I will read the comments in the record. So for the record that this is the main dwelling is a circa 1915 bungalow within the historic district, 1970 historic district. I think it's right outside the 55. HSAB took a look at this on March 28th. They said they had some comments. Belgian block is okay for a short apron, but it's too formal a material for a driveway and especially a walkway. Driveway should be all shell, try brick or boardwalk for the walkways. Belgian block edging for driveway is too formal. Stone pavers surrounding the back building is inappropriate for drainage and resiliency reasons. Change to lawn. A question on where the AC units and outdoor lighting are proposed. Application notes that the grade is being raised 8 inches. This is not appropriate for many reasons. The plan notes to rework the curb. The existing curb appears to be concrete and should not be disturbed. It cannot be reworked without destroying it. I will notate for the record that if you do look at the photographs, it is raised, the curbing, and DPW would require any material that's being displaced to be brought back to them, even if it's concrete. There was a comment that we received from another member who is not there. Okay with the driveway material and apron, not okay with the Belgian block apron. These buildings have amazingly retained some informal charm. A Belgian block lawn is a strong statement for this building and this neighborhood. No concerns about fencing or other screening. Applications says is to renew COA, but it appears to be a renewal and revisions. Administratively speaking, this should be renewed first and then come back with the revisions. And I would agree with that. I do agree from staff's perspective that the brick walkway and the shell driveway would be more appropriate. I will say that this proposed Belgian block walkway, I'm not familiar with anything like that within especially Brant Point area. If there is any, I would love to see that. But obviously brick would be more typical for a bungalow of this age. Those are comments, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Can I say something super quick?
Yep.
This was, so we didn't make any changes from the previous, NAG brought this through back in 2014 and we just literally resubmitted what they.
Sadly, I happen to agree with the Belgian block comments.
Oh, and one more thing, in the back of the guest house, there is actually already paving back there. There isn't on the side, but along the back side of that structure, there is actually already paving, you just be replacing.
Okay, all right, thank you. Who wants to start on this one?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, Diane, go ahead.
This was an existing one in 2014. It does seem to be a 1.5-story building, which I thought we didn't have on Wall Street anymore. But anyhow, why, if something is inappropriate, considered inappropriate now, and the COA has expired, can't we change it to
Yes.
be what?
Yeah.
I would change it as Hashab and Holly suggested, the paving not be, and the curb cut not cut that way.
This is the problem with letting it lapse. You basically, after 3 years, you lose your rights and privileges. Okay, Diane, thank you. Who's next?
I can go.
Yep.
So I was thinking, same thing, like that's a heck of a lot of Belgian block for a chic little bungalow. I'd like to see something a little more charming than that. I've never seen a brick walkway up to a front door before.
Actually,
So I would say,
okay, so to be clear on that point, they're requesting Belgian block going up to the front door, and HSAB said, well, maybe brick would be more appropriate.
yeah, that's what I was about to say too.
Okay. All right.
So I think that should be brick. I think the Belgian block going up to the shell driveway could be cut in half and bring the shell back to what is left. And then maybe in between the Belgian block driveway and the walkway, I would just do some stepping stones with grass and make it just a little more
Oh,
natural.
okay, yeah. So way less formal. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Abby. Let's see, Carrie, are you on this one?
I am. I agree with Abby. I don't think the Belgian block, I don't think the apron should be extended, and I think it should be pulled back to the minimum that's required. And stepping stones.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. John, anything? John?
Yes, anything I can see replace the existing brick with Belgian block. Usually you use Belgian block. This is just through the whole driveway right here, isn't it? The way I'm looking at it.
That's a lot of.
The existing gate to remain. So it must be blocked off as you walk in where it says replace existing brick with Belgian block wood. That's all Belgian block. Is there a garage on this?
No.
No garage.
No garage.
Thank you. I will call that the way it is. Thank you.
Okay, I'm with the consensus on this one, Lindsay. A serious reduction in the amount of Belgian block for all the reasons mentioned already. Okay, so should we have some revisions on this, folks?
I'll hope for revisions.
Thank you, Diane. On Diane's motion, Abby,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Thank you. Diane, on your motion?
Hi.
And I'm in favor, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're to 121 Washington and our friend Val Oliver. This one will be a Stephen.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Get down. I'll look at you. Where is it? Thank you.
I don't think I'm on it.
Stephen's on it.
Okay, this is 121 Washington Street, which was built by Kenny Aguirre in 2010. So it's not historic. We are asking to add an 8 by 20 deck on the west side, both first and second floor. Railing to match. Natural to weather. That's it.
All right. Is this HSAB territory?
Yes,
think
Mr.
so.
Chair, it is.
Okay.
So of course, this is not contributing in the old historic district as basically infill. HSAB took a look at this on March 28th. They said that this deck will be very visible from Union Street and the bike path and possibly Marion Way. Excuse me, it's been a long day. The second floor projecting deck is not appropriate in the old historic district in a visible location. It should be removed or reduced to a very small balcony. Okay with the first floor deck, but sliders should change to French doors. Drawings should be more accurately reflect existing conditions on the east elevation. I just want to notate for the record that Val's proposal of the deck meets that 8-foot out requirement. But due to the location within the OHD, maybe a small balcony would be more appropriate. So those are comments, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
I did also hand you, and it may be in the packet for Diane to see. If it's not, I will bring in more pictures. The new buildings built on Mariner Way all have second floor decks, as does this structure facing the duck pond.
Okay, you're just saying it's consistent with what's already there.
Right, yep.
Okay. All right. Who wants to start?
I can go
Thanks.
if you want.
Yeah.
No problem with the right-hand side deck. I like the way it's snugged into that hip roof.
That's already there.
Oh,
I'm just adding the west one.
too bad.
Yeah.
Well, now I was getting to that. Well, I think that's excessive, but I don't really know how to change it. Maybe just bring it, if it's 8 feet, you said it was 8 feet?
It matches the shed down below, yeah.
Shed down below. So I'm not sure about the second floor deck then. I think it would be fine to do the proposed first floor decking. But let's see what everybody else says.
Okay.
Thank you.
Diane?
Yeah, I don't mind it on the east.
It's already there.
Yeah, That's
Why
what
don't we hold this and I'll come in with a better presentation?
No, come on.
I would take the second floor deck on the front, and make it, as they suggested, a short balcony, make it 4 feet wide. You have the other one on the other end of the house. I think it's heavy at that end of the house with both of them matching each other. I don't think there's any necessity to have them match. It's out there down by the harbor. It looks out on the old railroad tracks and the duck pond. And I think a shorter deck could be tucked in without making it look weird.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. Thank you. Stephen, were you on this?
Was it Gary? No.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So can we, so I just think the west and the, I'd rebate on the right side, looking at the elevation. I think, Val, what might be successful is, I get you're trying to do, what you're trying to do, but I think if you were to wrap that, can we now go to the south elevation? Is to wrap that porch a little bit to bury some of that deck on the second floor. It's just more traditional. And the other thing I think that's a little bit of a concern is that on the west elevation, the right-hand side, the right railing is close to the front of the house. So there's not that, there's not a rebate in terms of there's not a setback there. And in addition to that, it looks foreign because there's not a wraparound. So those are just some comments. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I actually like those comments.
Are you saying, Stephen, sorry, to put a roof in front of it?
Yeah, I think if you wrapped it around, it's going to look, you're going to end up having to cut back some of the depth of that upper deck. But I think that it will look more traditional and also more integrated with the existing design.
So thanks, Stephen. Val, what did you mean when you said you wanted to come in with a improved presentation?
I'm going to come, I will make revisions and I'll bring in pictures, better pictures of everything that's around it. There's
Okay.
lots of second floor decks.
I actually think there were some good ideas mentioned in terms of like taking some of the that one corner, where the deck comes right to the corner, I think is going, and the fact that it comes out the full 8 feet is going to feel a little abrupt. Anyway, so it sounds like Val can make some revisions. Does somebody want to make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to hold for revisions for her.
Yeah. Okay. So on that motion, Abby,
Aye.
Stephen.
Aye.
Well, thank you. John.
I have a comment. I haven't spoken yet.
Okay, go ahead.
The amount of decking around the building and the amount of square foot around the building. 136 feet around the building and 144 feet of decking. So there's only about maybe 4.5 feet of decking shy. So I don't think it matters on that amount. That's my comment.
Okay, but the motion is actually to hold for some revisions, and it sounds like Val's okay with that. So are you in favor of the motion, John? John? Carrie, can you give John a nudge?
Are you in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And gosh, now I've forgotten who actually made the motion.
I did.
Diane. Okay, Diane, you're in favor of your motion?
Yes.
And me, I am too. Very good. And the motion carries. Thank you, Val.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. So Carrie, it's your turn. It's either Luke's turn or your turn.
That's my turn.
Okay. 16 Cliff, and obviously Stephen is on this one.
I think you have a full board, Mr. Chair.
Oh, right. What am I talking about? Yes, yes, you're right. Thank you.
Sure.
So I think originally we had two applications. One was for a little bike shed and the other was for the fence. Our client has decided the bike shed is not important to him. The fence is. That was the previous. So the fence, there's a white picket fence and a gate that exists already at the street side. He'd like to pull it into the apron or to the end of the apron to provide a place to pull in, to stop the car and open the gates to get the car in. It's at the fork on Cliff Road. So when they pull in the road, they've got dogs, so they have to gate it. So every time they pull in the driveway, they have to stop in the middle of the road, open the gates.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's a very functional reasoning of this. I did take some photographs in the neighborhood because I think there were some comments that it just creates a parking space. But there are a number of different variations on the same theme. One right across the street that was approved actually last week as an as-built. And hopefully there's photos in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Right.
That's the site.
Right, and so the gates would just follow along the apron and then the fence would follow in along the apron and gate it at the end. Keep the dogs in, be able to pull the car off the road to get into the.
Got it.
And open the gates.
Very
So
clear.
if you go to the photos across the street at, I forget what number it is. There's a couple.
Yeah, that's in a shale.
There's this, which is in fact, this is where my client got the idea. And then across the street,
11.
one of the ends, there's another little pull off for bicycles or something. That was a similar situation. Here's a rounded version of the same, right up the road a little bit further. And then there's another gated parking area. This little one
Oh, yeah.
has a similar sort of indent of the fencing, much taller fence. And then here's another simple version of the same. Not car gates, obviously, but
Yeah. The set in thing with the
yeah,
parking and then the
exactly.
gate. Yeah.
And then I started noticing them all over in other parts of town too, but I'm just talking, this is the Cliff Road area.
Okay. This is HSAB territory, right, Holly?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
I was just going to get to the site itself. Okay, so just for the record, this is associated with the property, a typical, it's a Nantucket 4-bay that was built in circa 1757 for Jowan Folger, the son of Peter Folger III. HSAB took a look at this on April 4th. They said this is essentially the same as the last version, only a little shorter, but the concerns remain the same. It's creating a parking space right on the street and sidewalk. There is plenty of room within the property for parking. From staff's perspective, I do agree that there's plenty of room on the property. However, there is precedent of this along the Cliff Road area. I will notate that apron, it must be grandfathered because it definitely does not meet the 10-foot minimum per the zoning bylaw 139-20.1. I believe that's it. Those are comments, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Who wants to start?
I will.
Thank you.
Now that Carrie has these photos and points it out, it totally makes sense to me that that's what it's doing. You're pulling off the road to open the gate, whether it's a dog, a horse, or whatever. My only question is, Carrie, what are the gates? Are they like the one across the street,
Well,
which
they
is
actually exist. They've been taken off of this because somebody bashed into it. There's another, but they're just off to the side there on the left of the photo. They're just sort of.
okay, so you're reusing some existing
Yeah,
gates. Yeah, I have no problem with this. And I think the bigger problem we had before was the shed
Yeah,
location.
and they just, yeah. They don't-
Yeah, that's it, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thanks. Diane,
Yeah, when you go up, are they going to have fencing or something? What are they going to attach the gates to? Is it going to be
fencing.
some sort of picket fence going up from?
It's going to be a continuation of the same fence that's in the front of the property. They'll,
Yeah.
wrap it back around on either side and then put those gates in just further back.
Right, but the house I just was worried if it was going to become a parking space, and not used for the shutting of the gates so that they can get in and out without the dogs. I don't have a problem with the gate being there. There's a bunch of 11 across the street, 43 across the street, 45. There's a whole bunch of them. And this is a tricky street, so in order to get in and get the gate open at street length is hair raising. So I have no problem going in.
Okay, thank you, Diane. Abby?
Yeah, I think you've made a good case for it with photographs, and I'm okay with it.
Okay, thank you. I think, John, anything on this?
I have a comment.
Yep.
Thank you. Just after the Second World War, this here property was obtained by the Chapman family. Very wealthy family, very nice family. Anyway, I'm just saying, it's on the corner of Cliff Road and Folger Lane. It had, and it still has, a driveway, fencing, and the main house was Chapman family, and the one in back was a garage apartment, and that's who owned it. And I think what they want to do is appropriate for that neighborhood.
All
Thank you.
right. Okay, then can I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve as submitted, I believe.
That's it. That's the motion I was looking for. Very good. On that motion, Abby,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
very good. And Diane on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Motion carries. Thank you, Carrie. Okay, now we're to 16 Gardner. Ethan, you there?
I'm right here.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'm here, but I've got to sit out. Did you just call for me?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I said Ethan. Ethan, are you there? Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
It's a new house.
Yeah.
This is a 16 Gardner Road. It's a kind of a square lot. A town road cuts their property in half. One half of the property is a swamp. The other half of the property is their house. So you all know it, it's a tight turn on Gardner Road. So the only place we can put this building is right in front of the driveway because of Concom boundaries. You can see my site plan. So there's wetlands all in a right triangle.
I'm confused here.
Two driveways?
Yeah, there's two driveways existing on the property. So they're eventually going to that's the only place I could put this building. It used to be Bruce Benny's house.
Yeah, I'm really familiar with this.
You are? Well,
Yeah.
Oh, can we go back to the locus? Can you scroll it over there? Okay. So Gardner goes down
After
No,
Pippin's Way.
after Pippin's, and then it goes to dirt.
Yeah.
And then that road forks off on the right-hand side. This is past all that?
Yeah, it's right out there on the corner as it bends to the right.
It is the road.
And you could get stuck there in the sand.
That's so
wanted to.
weird. So there's Gardner Road cutting right through the middle of the property. And you're saying that you're gonna put the house in the road?
No, right in front of the road, like on my site plan. Because across the road is
Right there. Okay.
Right there.
Okay, got it. Okay.
across is
And that-
wetlands.
Right. All right, now
I
let's
can
take a look
start
at
it
the-
off if you want.
Well, have we seen the house yet? I haven't. Oh, you've seen it
Oh, I
because you're
looked
looking
at
at the
it,
paper.
you know.
Right, yeah,
In the
okay.
comfort of
Sorry,
my-
Abby, I'm catching up with you. Hang on.
All right. I'll go out for dinner.
No, stay. Okay, there it is. And which side faces Gardner?
East.
Got it. Okay, the narrow end. Yeah. All right, so Abby, go ahead.
Okay, so, well, although, yeah, you just put the word narrow out there, but I think it's a charming design. It reminds me of, an old barn on the sides are really sweet. There is a little bit of rocket ship going on, but that's all you've got. That's all the space you have. I mean, it's right as you're coming down that road, Ray, just before you take that little right, you would see that east
Yeah.
elevation.
Yeah,
And,
gotcha.
I tried to keep it short too.
yeah. So, I think it's fine. That's what I got on that.
Okay, so you think it's fine, and
Mhm.
who's next?
I'll go.
Thanks.
I've been working on 18 next door, and this is really, although it looks like it's in the wide open spaces, it is, it's not. I mean, you can look up the driveway and see it, and I agree with Abby. It looks like a charming outbuilding that got turned into some sort of housing.
So you're in.
I'm fine with it as well.
Okay, thanks. Diane?
I am fine with it. I think it will be good. And it's sitting right next to 18 and across the street from 19. So I think it will fit right in with the neighborhood of houses there. So I'm good with it.
Okay. John, anything? John?
Yes, thank you. The not elevation. Has more wood than glass. It's a nice looking little door. If it's measured properly. The best elevation, it's 3 of those French type doors. It should be 2 instead of 3.
That faces into the back of the property, John.
I'm sorry?
It faces into the back of the property,
That's the back of the cottage?
back of the property, yeah.
Okay, I take it then the north elevation is a front door?
Yes,
I'm sorry?
yes.
That's the front door? All right, that has more wood than glass. I have no further comments, thank you.
Okay, I think we have liftoff, folks.
Oops, I'm not on.
Somebody want to give me a motion here? Hey,
Make a motion to approve.
thank
as sub-
you.
As submitted.
Sounds good. All right, so that was Diane's motion. On the motion, Abby,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
John,
Nice.
Diane on your motion. Diane,
Aye.
thank you, and I'm in favor. Motion carries. Thank
Aye.
you. Ethan. Okay, thanks. Next up, 51 Fair. Do we have somebody to rep this?
Online, maybe?
Sorensen.
Yeah, is there anybody here to represent 51 Fair Street before we go too far down the Primrose Path? Now, Holly, I'm going to imagine something here that it's changing the paint color. It's Fair Street. It's in the old historic district and it's not on consent.
Correct.
I'm just wondering whether it would be
What
prudent for
colors?
us to move forward with the discussion of this without anybody to rep.
I would motion to hold for representation.
So you know that there's.
I've
some-
looked at it. Yeah, I think we
Okay,
need.
all right. So then let's hold this for rep. Oh, Val has
Make
already made that
motion.
motion. No, Val made that motion already. Diane on the motion.
Oh,
Diane.
good. Aye.
Hold for representation.
Yeah. Abby on
Aye.
the motion.
I was just curious about what color did they?
No.
put in?
We're
Okay.
holding for okay. Are you all good on the motion?
Yes, I'm fine.
Right. John on the motion.
Okay, now, what is the motion, please?
Motion to hold for representation.
Is that 51 Fair Street?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, I'm in favor.
Val on your motion.
Aye.
Thank you, John. Not John. Ray. Yes, aye. Okay, so that's that. Now do we have Ben, are you around?
I'm here.
All right. So 1 Chester Street.
So we're amending our previous approval on this project. We're applying for a small little shed in the back of the building on the west side. We're applying for a skylight, also near on the back west side, 1-story element. We're applying for the location of the AC condensers on the west side and an outdoor shower on the rear of the building. We went to Historic Structures Advisory Board.
Yes.
They were positive on the proposal. They made one or a few requests that we drop the roof off the roof plane of the 1-story element. You'll see this in a second when we get to the plans. So there's our addition there. We're going to reuse that window. That's a plank frame window that we got approved. to remove.
Was that the roof they wanted to drop?
Yeah, so see how it's kind of melded together? They wanted to break that up.
Yeah.
And I know it's physical and not virtual, but I have that drawing here with me tonight, so we can look at that. They
You
also
basically
asked.
just, what did you do? Like drop the whole eave or the roof pitch or something to be able
I
to?
dropped the pitch. I left the eave exactly where it is, but I dropped the pitch of the
Mhm.
shed.
So what's
so
the
that the
spread?
gutter
Like, what's
can
the
run
difference between
drop.
the eve and the?
And then they also asked that the bulkhead that we're applying for be natural to weather and that the doors on the shed be natural to weather. And I'm happy to make those changes and I'm
Okay.
passed around that elevation, sorry.
All right. Okay, who wants to start? Oh,
Mr. Chair.
sorry.
That's
Let's
okay.
Make it official. HSAB.
Yes, thank you. So this is the circa 1794 built by Jonathan, or built for Jonathan Barney, who was a sea captain. And HSAB said they prefer to see the roof separated from the existing shed by dropping it below the fascia and make the doors natural to weather. I did receive a comment separately from Brooke. An addition is a little odd at first glance, but could be construed as a cold door or something akin to that. Appreciate reuse of the old true plank window, no concerns. There are similar odd bump outs all throughout the OHD, and I think this is actually helps this elevation. I have comments for your consideration, Mr. Chair. Oh, where'd it go? Bear with me. I don't know what happened. Hold on. That was weird. Okay, so it wasn't just me. I know. Okay. So L's and bump outs are more appropriate on the rear as additive massing, although the proposed storage shed addition is placed in front of the proposed AC units to screen the shed addition off the main block of this early 18th century sea captain's dwelling. Too bad it couldn't go off the rear or next to the proposed outdoor shower on the rear on that north elevation. Appreciate reusing that original plank frame window, but I just wanted to bring the attention to the commission that this is that rear elevation on that rear gable. And looking at it from the interior, it didn't look like that would hinder anything from the program on the inside. And again, it would be in line with a lot of the additive massing bump outs that happen. But those are just comments for your consideration. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Who wants to start?
I will.
Go ahead.
He just showed us what he was talking about, dropping the roof line down instead of making it contiguous with the piece that's already there. And I think it's appropriate.
Okay,
I agree with Val.
okay. Diane,
I do also.
all right. John, anything?
I have a comment, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
On this structure here, looking at the plans. It's got a green shade in all the shingles. Are the shingles light green or are they gray? Right on the plan. It's all looks green.
No, yeah, that's just drafting.
Come look at it, go on.
Are they a little yellow? I don't know.
Yeah.
The shingles?
Right
No,
there.
no, on the drawing, it looks sort of greenish.
Oh.
The lichen.
It's
Is
a
that
line
lichen?
weight.
Yeah, it's that 300-year-old lichen.
Mr. Chairman, I want an answer, please.
It's just a graphic of the drafting. It's just a graphic of the color of the ink on the drafting, on the drawing. It's not representative of anything.
She's right. Thank you.
I want to know how you
Fine,
say the
fine,
last
fine.
name.
Which one?
Their name.
Oh, I know. I don't know.
Oh,
Pogo roll? I don't know.
Okay, so do we have liftoff here?
yes. Motion to approve with the amended drawing through staff that shows the break in the eve line.
Very good. Thank you, Val. On Val's motion, Abby,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and sorry, who made the motion?
Me, aye.
Very good, thanks. And I'm in favor. Motion carries. Hey, guys, I gotta
Yes.
leave.
You've got to leave?
Yeah, I have to get dinner before 9. I have to eat before 9 o'clock because they close at 9. So, and it's the only place in town. So
You
I
beat me
don't want
to
to
it.
starve,
I was
so
gonna-
I gotta go. Sorry, but I'll talk to you guys on Thursday.
All
Night,
right.
night. You good, Abby?
Yep, I'm good.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Thanks.
Good night, good night.
Andy West has her hand up. Madam Chair.
For what?
No.
We haven't even started.
She's on the agenda at the end for other business
Oh,
to talk about article.
oh,
I don't know if you want Ray to be there. Maybe that.
oh dear.
Article 54 and 55 related to hot tub installs.
When were we going to talk, which we talked about that in the beginning?
No, it's at the end as other business. I guess the chairman would have made that.
Are we doing what, 14 Baxter Road?
114 Baxter Road, yes.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Excuse me?
How do we fit her in at the end?
She, I guess at the end of the meeting, when there's other business to address, you would. I don't know.
Oh. So you want to be at the beginning?
Why don't we ask?
Oh, did you say she was on one?
She's got her hand raised.
Ann, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what, are you, are you here for, could you tell us why you're here?
Yes. Ray put me on the agenda at the very end because I'm coming back to you to talk about what I talked to you about last October, which is the articles that I have on the warrant for town meeting that have to do with hot tubs and spas. And I wanted to come back, tell you exactly where we are on those, and ask for HDC support in these articles. But if it's better, I don't mind coming back on Thursday. I can either wait until, the last 5-10 minutes of the meeting tonight, or I can come back on Thursday. I raised my hand because it suddenly occurred to me that Ray might have forgotten and maybe you guys didn't know. And I didn't want to kind of sit here for another hour and then just, kind of fade away. So
No,
I'm happy to do whatever suits you.
Yeah, I'm thinking that are you sure you're okay? Because I think it might be better to do it at the beginning so that we're alert, on Thursday.
That's fine with me.
Is that okay? Because
Absolutely
I think
fine.
by just before 9, we're going to be deadheads.
Yeah.
And
so that would be, so the meeting on Thursday starts at 1:00, right?
that's correct. And we would take you right for public comment.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So then that's what we'll do. I'll see you on Thursday at 1:00 your time.
Okay, excellent. Anne, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Okay, so do we have?
You have me tonight.
Oh, there she is.
This is the Herrick's old house at the end of Baxter, overlooking the golf course on the left-hand side. And the new owners would like to put on a small addition to the south. The one-story piece, if you look at the front of the building, that right elevation there.
Chester Street.
Just that one, it's the one-story piece. Bottom right elevation. That's the
Baxter
street
Road,
side.
Baxter Road, 114.
Yep, that piece right there. And then on the south, you see it's not quite a symmetrical roof. That's to keep it under the windows. And then on the rear elevation, which is the west, which is facing the golf course, there's some French doors and an extended deck across and some utility doors below. It's not a garage down there, but it's a storage shed. The slope is very steep on that side. So it's the whole one-story right-hand piece is what we're at.
Harry, where is the addition? Is it the bottom right?
It's the one-story piece. There it is.
Okay.
Ollie's circling it right now. And
Yeah,
then
I
you
see
see it there on the south
Yeah.
elevation, and then you go around and you see it's 2 stories on the hillside. No grade is changing. This is the way the building exists on the site. So the lower level is visible under the extended deck.
Right. And how wide is that deck going out off the south elevation, second floor?
It's 8 feet. Oh, there's a little piece that's extended to 10. It's an upside down house and they're really hoping to get a little extra space up there. That side is only visible from the golf course. And I don't think that's going to be, there you go. See the little angled extension?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just about to say I'll go first.
Madam Chair, just for the
Oh,
record.
yes, please.
This structure is outside of Sconset advisory area, and it's not in the OHD of Sconset, but does have an HDC survey circa 1984, and it's actually called Windswept. Windswept. Yep. So just want to reiterate that for the record. Thanks.
Thank you. Can I ask you a question, just to understand the basement, where it extends down, is that all, existing?
That hill slopes down.
Look at the photos.
Extending.
It's hard to see. I know.
Underneath the foundation is also going to be exposed like the rest of it.
Right here.
It's like hanging on a cliff.
Okay, anybody ready?
I am.
Okay, go Val.
I know this house very well and the area. I helped move a butter next door across the street. It is a very steep existing site. And I actually think that the 1-story shed is helpful to this structure, giving it some additive massing and grounding it. I don't have any concerns.
Okay, John.
Yeah, the extension is put on your page here for approval. And then basically, regular policy is 10 feet. They added 2 feet onto the existing 8 that's here on the upper one. It's 12 feet out. And it's got to be, take that 2 feet back off of it. It'll meet the 8-foot requirement.
We thought we could get away with it since it's not visible from anywhere but the golf course.
I'm a golfer. Thank you, John, for that. Diane.
Well, I haven't seen it, at least recently, so I would go by what Val thinks. So I think the only thing that I was questioning was the deck up there, and it's hanging over and looking out. So I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, Stephen, are you there? Stephen Walsh. What about Stephen Welsh?
I don't see him.
No, I don't see. He's not there.
Well, there are 4 of us. So Carrie, so I'm not in favor of the extending the 2nd floor balcony. And I think if you were to do the extension on the bottom, I would say that it would be nice to have some landscaping to sort of soften those French doors and all of that down there. So it doesn't, I mean, right now it looks sort of, I mean, it could possibly be the ugliest house. But I don't know. So
I'm sure they're planning on any fancy landscaping, but there's a few bushes.
it's just, you've got 3 tiers of like decking there.
Yeah, we're not.
And
Yeah,
it's pretty hefty. So anyway, those are my thoughts.
we would probably, if you're ready to staff approve without that little extension, I think they would go for it.
Well, let's see what other people say. Anybody ready to make a motion or revisions?
I have more to say.
You have more to say?
I have more to say.
Okay.
on it. Okay, on the
A little one.
south elevation,
Yes.
okay, there's a small little bug out there where Anderson moved addition to the main house.
Yeah.
And it's a 6-inch pitch. Not a 7, it's a 6.
Oh, to get it in under the,
Roof pitch, yeah.
So they don't have to move the windows. I
Yeah.
don't think anybody's gonna notice that.
yeah. What is that? Like a 1 and 3?
What is it? One of the
What's the pitch of the,
I don't know. I can't read
Does it say?
6. Should be a 7. Hey, forget about it. No, that's fine.
Okay, what do we want to do with this?
I would have approved it.
Okay, make the motion.
I motion to approve it as submitted.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Well, we just got one. But so on Val's motion, which is to approve in its entirety, what is your motion?
To approve it, which way? Go ahead.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Okay, what are you gonna put 2 feet on each deck?
I don't think anybody is going to know that's an 8-foot deck or a 10-foot deck.
We're running into these small problems because people want something different, you know? And I can agree what they want too. you know, so.
Say what you feel.
You can say no, John.
Okay. Whatever you want to do, I'm gonna sit and vote.
What's your vote, though? Was that a yes or a no?
Is Stephen on this?
No, I couldn't find him.
The motion was to add submitted, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
I can come back to you. Diane. Oh, that's okay. I wouldn't mind spending another 20 minutes on this one. Diane? I think we're falling apart. I know, I am so tired.
You're muted, Diane. I know, I could see that. I don't know who the person is.
Diane, we got a motion from Val to.
Yeah,
to-
I heard that and I
Okay.
said yes, 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 yes.
Oh, you did, okay. And John, on the motion,
How many voted?
Diane has voted. We're only 4 because we can't find Stephen.
Okay, I'm gonna abstain. from it. Thank you.
It's either yes or no.
Yeah.
I guess that's a no.
Okay, because,
No, Stephen.
yeah.
John, sorry.
okay, and I'm a no, so
That's 2-2.
maybe that's, okay, so that doesn't pass. So do I hear another motion?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Again?
What, I don't know what revisions aside from the extension on the deck that really is necessary. Everybody drives by this building and never even sees the back. And it's existing, so what do you want to change?
Well, it's little discussion here. You can see it from Pulpus Road, you can see it from the golf course, and it's in plain sight, so.
You'll never know it.
Anyway.
We have to give her some direction if we're holding for revisions, so. We have to give her some direction if we're holding for revisions.
Vote for revision?
We're gonna just pop that thing off.
I think I make a motion to adjourn.
If that's bogging everything down, we'll take it off.
I think the only thing that we could probably ask for revisions is to bring it in. I don't particularly mind it because it makes, looking at it, it makes it uneven. Otherwise, it looks sort of stacked up. But I think that's the only thing we've mentioned that needs to be done, isn't it?
Okay, Diane, can you make that motion? We can get rid of this, maybe.
Does she understand the stacked decks exist? It's just the little piece to the left, the little, nope, not that one. It's, well, they're both, no, yeah, but I think the problem is that it's extending out with the little, that piece, that little piece, I think is what's bogging us down. Because all the rest of it exists. We're adding a little on the first floor, but that doesn't.
I know all the rest of it exists. I don't mind the little piece that sticks out. But it didn't get voted in the last vote, so all I can think of is to say take that 2 feet off if you want to. I'll make the motion, see if we can pass it this time.
Okay, thank you, Diane. On Diane's motion, Val.
Aye.
John, they're taking the extension off, so it's going back to,
Well, if we stick to something there, that's good. Thank you.
are you in favor? I'm in favor of that as well. So that passes. Thank you.
I'm holding mine too for Thursday.
Which, you are?
Yes.
Wow.
Steve isn't here and Ray isn't here.
It's a tough route.
And
What's he
my
doing up there?
person was here but had to go, so I want them to be here.
All right, so we're gonna hold 10 and 11, 81. Do I hear that motion?
Motion.
Okay, on Diane's motion, John, we're gonna hold 10 and 11. Valerie doesn't want to do it. Yes.
I'm holding those, John, for Thursday. Yes.
Diane on the motion.
Aye.
And Stephen? No.
Disappeared.
Carrie, can you be, thank you, and I'm an aye. 28 Liberty Street. Yeah, no. That's a-
Is there anybody here? I would motion to hold because this is in the OHD, right? Yeah.
Right.
All right, thanks, Val. On Val's motion, Diane,
Yep. Yes.
John, we're going to hold number 28 Liberty. Are you in favor?
81 Focus Road? No.
28 Liberty.
28 Liberty?
Hold.
For representation. Nobody's here to rep it.
Hold it?
Yeah, hold it. Yes, you're in. Carrie?
Aye.
Aye, and I'm in. 20 Willard?
George, yeah, he's. Yes, Mr. Wing is here.
Oh, this is the one where he put the piece on above the porch. A different house? Oh,
Mini
same guy,
split.
different house? Okay, thank you.
All right. Do we have Mr. Wing here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi.
Would you like to tell us what you're doing?
I'm just adding a 4-zone mini split to a story and a half down on Willard Street. Trying to keep everything hidden in a cedar to match the sidewalls. I won't use plastic stuff. It's over there at Marine and everywhere else down by the wharf. Mine are gonna be boxed in. There's only
No.
2 of them that are gonna see. The condenser is going to be behind a cedar wall to match the shower right next to it. So. we have
What's that
2
going up?
Yeah, it's going to this second floor bedroom. There's a cathedral bedroom right above the living room. And the only way we can get that up there is just like everybody else does on Nantucket. And then the same situation on the other side of the house over on the north is a cathedral ceiling bedroom.
Okay. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So this is in the the historic district, not in the OHG, but in the 1970s district. HSAB did not take a look at, but I did. And along the south facing Willard Street, both the elevations that have this proposal will be visible, no doubt. And the cedar enclosure, I think, is good. I am concerned on the proposal going right smack dab in the middle of the structure on both gable ends versus going along the trim and then down to the unit. I do think the enclosure that's proposed obviously is in keeping with what you all approve for these. That's my only concern, especially if it's going to be painted white. It will not
Oh,
blend
no,
in,
it's
it will
gonna-
stick
oh,
out.
It's gonna match the cedar siding.
So it would be natural to
Damn
weather.
white.
Not sure how that would look, but those are my comments, Madam Chair.
Oh, thanks, Holly. Who would like to go first?
I'll go.
I think we're gonna let John go first, Diane.
This is customary, what is here, what I see here is customarily, and it has the vent going up and the 1x6 cedar enclosure to block the heat pump for the air conditioner. I think it's appropriate in that area. There's a lot of them down there.
Is that right? Okay. Thank you for those thoughts. Diane,
I think that it is totally inappropriate to go up and split the two windows and then the two windows on the second story. It has to go over to the right and go up the eave line and come down from the top, and that's it. It's just on both sides.
Yeah.
Why do you, might as well leave it out and paint it purple.
okay, thank you, Diane. Val?
I want to say thank you to Mr. Wing for the enclosure in cedar, natural to weather. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate that.
No problem.
I'm not so sure I mind on the north, the way it's set up, but on the south, that is, I believe, the front door. So it would be more appropriate to move that back to go along the corner board up the rake and then over. If
Then
that's
straight over,
possible.
right above the windows.
Yeah, I think at least there, because that is the door and.
Are we talking
Um,
about the front rake or the back rake?
The back,
Okay, so if I come out down.
because if you
this
came
is
along the
straight up,
front
okay.
rake, yeah,
Yeah, okay, way in the back, next to the corner board,
yep,
come up there, up to the top of the windows and then straight over.
yes, I
Yes.
think that would be much more appropriate, but thank you very much for your
Yeah, that's
consideration
no
of
problem.
what we like to have. Thank you.
Thank you, Val, for
No,
your
no.
thoughts on that. So we heard from Diane, we heard from John. Carrie.
I agree with Val.
Okay. My thoughts are, if you're gonna do it on the south, I would like to see it on the north as well, because I think you're gonna see that coming down the street. So I think that would be
Okay.
appropriate.
I could try and fashion
Please.
a motion to approve through staff, moving the
Line sets or.
what do I call that?
The line
Pipe.
set and
Moving the
closure.
pipe on both sides, if possible, to the rear corner board, follow the rake, and then over on top of the windows. That would be great. Through
Now, I
staff,
just have one other problem, Val.
the shower.
Oh, no, looking at the front door, actually the south front entrance, the small line set enclosure going right up parallel with the door. There is a unit right behind, right where it turns. There's a air conditioning unit, heating air conditioning unit, mini split here for the living room and the whole downstairs, the kitchen living room is right behind. And then I was gonna take both sets and go up into one channel. But I do have a set right there. Now that would have to come straight over. If I'm going up that back corner board, I would have to take another 90 right across the top of those windows and then down. It's gonna hit right there by the top of the door. Okay,
I'm not
So
sure.
if you go
I,
up the back, there's gonna be a branch that comes off to the right now. Instead of going
Right.
up and to the left, it's gonna go up the rake, but it's also gonna have a branch that comes across the first
oh,
floor.
well, that
windows.
wasn't evident by this at all.
No, but that's why he's got it going there and then there.
And there's gonna be something sticking out on top of those windows?
oh, no, oh,
It will go up here and up there, like we said, but then it'll come across.
No,
So it's gonna be like a
What happens if you moved it all over to the right and go up beside the door and then up to the top and then go up and then over instead of putting it all on the left?
Well, I've got to hit that unit in that, the line sets feeding that unit is, the unit's coming out is right there next to that front door. I don't know how else to get to it.
I don't know, but I have a problem having it go right up the front of the house like that. Maybe whoever's air conditioner will come up with a better idea, but I think that's about as visible as you could get, I think.
So, so we can't really design it for you, Mr. Wing, but do you want to take this back and bring us back a revised version of this now that you've heard our comments?
Yeah,
So why-
I don't have any trouble with hiding it up there by the rec board, but it's going to be out past the rake because the rake is only sitting on a 1x, sitting out there, and my my boxes, let's say, enclosure is going to be like 6 inches. So
Okay,
they're going to
but
be out past that rake. That's why.
Perhaps the air conditioned man could come up with a different plan.
About the AC.
A different plan?
Because I don't think. Yes, one that doesn't set it up right up the front of the building.
Is that your motion, Diane?
It's, yeah.
For holding for revisions and hope that you come back again with a revised design for these splits.
That's what I would motion.
On Diane's motion, Val,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Thank you, Mr. Wing.
Thanks.
I appreciate the.
Yeah, I thought it should just be required, but it's such a bummer. We're gonna see a lot of those.
What's our next one?
94 Orange Street, Haley Victor.
Paul Dreher.
Which side?
Is Paul here?
Anybody here for 94 Orange? Going once, going twice.
So
Motion to hold 94 Orange.
on Val's motion, Diane.
Good.
John.
Aye.
Hold on.
Motion to hold
Voting for rep.
94
For
Orange.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, and Karen.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. And on your motion.
Aye. Sir, are you here for any particular? Oh, great.
Oh.
Okay.
There we go. That must be
30.
a nag.
You got 37 Westchester, right?
You singing to yourself?
Yes.
Huh? Was I?
I thought you were singing to yourself.
Maybe I was. Yes, thank you.
He's in a butter.
Well, he's in a butter.
I'm in a butter, yeah.
Oh, okay, so, well, we don't.
Bill's here.
Bill's here.
Bill McGuire. Nag.
But,
This is Bill?
yeah, okay, Bill.
Hi, Bill McGuire. is here?
Yep, 37 for 37 Westchester.
Yes. So you can see the elevations that the new owner would like to have 2 extra bedrooms and a larger kitchen. So we're doing that on the eastern side, the center row there on the right-hand side. You can see the 2-story addition, and it sort of steps up the hill. The Sunset, was it Sunset Street behind it?
Sunset Hill, yeah, Sunset Hill.
Sunset Hill, thank you, is behind it. So it's sort of stepping up with the street. And then I'll just wait for comments.
Oh, my comment is that
Hold on a second.
So, thank you, Madam Chair. So this is a circa 1953 Cape, actually with a garage under the building. There is an HDC survey on file, and it is obviously located within the old historic district. HSAB took a look at this on April 4th. The site is entirely visible and elevated a full floor above the street. The proposed additions do not relate to the architecture of the existing building or the immediate neighborhood. The new 2-story massing is awkward and overwhelms this simple building. Roof pitches, plate heights, and fenestration all need to be rethought. Any vertical expansion needs to be reconsidered as a 1.5-story structure with dormers rather than a full 2-story addition. HSAB would respectfully request any revisions should the commission be so inclined. From staff's perspective, I agree with HSAB's comments wholeheartedly. Looking back to exactly where the structure is located, right off basically with Sunset Hill, one of the most historic parts of downtown when it comes to the oldest house and Westchester Street in general. I do agree that this addition needs to be sensitively done. So those are comments, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thanks, Molly. Now.
My turn.
Yeah, state your name for the.
It's Robert Atlee. I live on 4 Sunset Hill, directly across the back of this property. The property does not fit the integrity of the historic Westchester Road. I mean, you get the old hospitals up there. It's the culture of Nantucket. This presentation is not fitting to fit into the older, what do you want to call it? The older island. My house, I live in, as I said, 4 Sunset Hill. That's 95 years old. The house across the street from me, one of the gardeners' homes is 95 years old. I mean, we're antiquity in that whole area, which is, the buses and everybody comes up and down the street to see the oldest house. This doesn't fit. And I have other neighbors that agree with me, but I don't, to me, it's going to be sort of like you don't put another story on the house. Now I look out of my house, it's like might be in New York looking at the apartment across the street. It's not fitting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. When will this come up again? No.
We're going to discuss it. Just hang out for a bit.
Okay.
And, see what the outcome is.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody feel like going first? I will.
Give me a compliment.
Okay. But Okay. we have one over here. Val. I agree with HSAB. I think it's very awkward. And very oddly cited on the house as an addition near the front door. It is true that this is on 3 streets, so it really does need to be thought very carefully. I'm wondering if there's a possibility of stealing some space somewhere else. You could do underneath the building to add a bedroom or usurp the sun porch or something, but there's also casement windows, 2 sets of them facing south, which is also inappropriate. I think you need to go back to the drawing board, Bill. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. I quite
Okay.
agree with everything that's been said, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Abiato,
Okay, Diane, thank you.
I want to get Billy the height of the new application. How high is the building now? With the second story put on, I don't see anything.
Oh, I don't, Diane, I'm sorry, I don't know offhand, and I apologize for not having it on the drawings. But it's gonna be coming down anyway, so.
It says 22, it says 22.2 on the east elevation from grade to the top of
I
the
was
new
thinking
ridge.
the south, I'm thinking the south elevation, but I agree with Val is that it is inappropriate, and that with Hashab also, it is a classic building. It may not be a historic aged building, but it's on one of the busiest streets that we have. It is seen from everywhere where you come up, down North Liberty, up Sunset Hill, along the Westchester. It has to fit in with the neighboring houses and not popped up and a second story put on it without some more consideration. I don't see a site plan. I don't see how much more room they have, but I don't think, knowing that street and knowing the North Liberty and stuff, there isn't a lot of space to do something. You've got the drop down from Sunset Hill. Difficult, but I don't think that this particular building is appropriate as drawn at this time.
Thank you, Diane. John.
Yes, I go back to when this was an empty lot, so I remember it well. Mr. Conway built the house here. I find that although there's a second floor addition, because of the roundness of the hill and going downhill to get down to the post office set, you gotta come down. So I think it's appropriate for the neighborhood because its house isn't that much taller than what's across the street from it. And I think the whole thing is appropriate for this area of what's there. Some of it is the stairways that are there. Maybe it shouldn't be there, but they are there, the garage. So I think this is appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Carrie.
Yeah, I think you're taking a very simple house and making it feel awkward. I think that was the word that Val used, and I was thinking the exact same thing. I think you can add some height to it and part of it, but I think it should be 1.5 stories, and I don't think the gable should turn. I think you could successfully do it with the roof in the same direction as the existing and more of a piece of it, so it looks like a main mass that encompasses the front door. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Carrie. That's,
Can I share something?
yes.
If you're standing on Westchester. Like, if you're standing on Westchester looking at the house, first floor would be basically the garage. The second floor would be what you see there above the garage. So that, if you go on top of that, that's a third story.
Right.
I got you. I mean, thank you. That's informative. So I was about to say what Carrie was saying, that the second story element with that gable coming forward, I really think it takes away from its simplicity of sort of a long rambling cape, which has a lot of charm. So I don't know how you do it, Bill, but maybe the it doesn't have the gable forward. But sounds like we've got a few revisions to.
Motion to hold for revisions and to go back to HSAB.
Okay, thank you for that. Thorough.
Second.
Bill, okay, on Val's motion, Carrie,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
Val on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm an aye.
So, sir, we don't know when it will come up again. You have to just check the agenda because they have to submit revisions and it has to go through the process again.
It'll be at least 2 or 3 weeks.
Not every time, no. Did you got one this time, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Esmeralda will tell you.
No, she can't be responsible
No,
for
I'm
calling
just
everybody, but he can check in.
I have a comment.
I don't know if we want to hear it
Through
though.
through the chair,
Yeah.
whatever. All right, the next application, there's 3 of them. 9 Gingy Lane, Mr. Manella. And I think that we've got 15 minutes. We might as well hold this till Tuesday.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
per the applicant's request, they would like to hold 16, 17, 18, 9 Gingy Lane till the following Tuesday, the 19th.
Just what you
So
wanted.
moved. So moved.
They're holding it. They're holding Gingy Lane. For next,
Gingy Lane, yes, I
yeah,
think we
they're
should.
holding it for some
moved.
reason. Okay, so,
I make a motion, Abby, to hold it.
okay, thank you, Diane. John, on the motion.
On the motion to hold them, the representation.
Carrie,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Aye.
Diane on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So,
I what?
and I'm an aye. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. So 15 Wapasat.
Is anyone?
Where's that? Where's Wampusett?
Is Ack
Hello,
right here?
this might be me.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's a ACK Solar, I think, for the solar panels for my house. I don't know if they are here or not.
Do you live at 15
Motion to
Wapasat
Yeah,
Circle? Okay,
it's Uri.
this is gonna be our last one.
We were just
I'm the
about to-
chairperson, so I get to say. It's in Satham's Path on Surfside Road.
Right,
Yes.
you got it.
So if I can, I mean, it's pretty straightforward application. Applying for the solar panels on the south side of the roof on the main house, which are very barely visible and kind of the only location for it over there. So I'm hoping you can approve something like this, since we
is
are
it-
trying to save some energy.
Is that on the side of the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
On
said,
this, yeah, on the roof that's facing south.
Okay, thank
And
you.
it's not a black roof.
no.
That's a bit of a bummer.
What color is it?
Looks like a
Oh,
light gray.
gray, dark gray.
Val, why don't you start? You started.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I actually thought this application was okay with the exception of wanting to know, can the panels all go in the same direction? It looks as if they could. Instead of
yeah,
some
there's-
going, wait a second, horizontal
Oh, sorry.
and some of them the other way. It looks like you could either add 2 on the dormer and eliminate the 2 closest to the front door, and then turn the rear 2 so that they're horizontal, so at least there's some consistency.
Oh,
Just one moment, one at a time. So just to,
Roll it up so I can show you.
okay, pay attention, everybody.
I'm asking if he could take these two panels and turn them. Add these two here, and that way, most of the panels are to the rear and they're all going in the same direction.
Except the ones on the dormer, but they're up higher.
My question is, now, is this next to Papadakis' roll rink or what?
How about
No,
all panels go horizontal?
Sachem's Path, near South Shore Road.
Yeah, right here, yeah.
Madam Chair, excuse me, Madam Chair, this is Tim Carruthers from Ag Smart Energy representing the project.
Okay, hold on just 1 second, Tim, okay? So,
Did Tim hear Valerie's
That's fine.
suggestion? Because he could tell us if it's possible.
Tim,
Yes?
Valerie just suggested all the solar panels going in the same direction. Is that possible?
Potentially, could I ask which direction that we're looking to orient them? Right now, we have the top row are in what we call landscape, and
Correct.
the panels on the dormer and the panels to the wings there are in what we call portrait.
Correct, but it looks like that there's just about enough space for these to turn.
So the ones to
And
the
then do
wings.
2 and 2 here and eliminate this.
You mean
Yeah, it's difficult. I apologize. We can't see on the video what you're.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I really just wanted to see if we could get more consistency in the direction.
Basically putting them so they're in.
Valerie, I have a question
Yeah.
on this. This building,
It doesn't look like this.
is this across, next to Manny Dias?
No.
Out
It's
further?
It's out further where almost to Fairgrounds Road intersection, there's a housing development there on the right.
Is that Gladden's Road? That's okay.
Before that.
Before that, on the right-hand side.
Oh, yeah, right, there's a new place.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
that's
yes.
where it is?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Why does that configuration look different than the one we're looking at?
Well, because this has the slope of the roof in account for the panels here.
Could we perhaps take a look at the elevation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motion to approve it.
Wait.
John,
Did that get you?
Go ahead, Tim.
So let me ask the question. I think it's Val that's asking, if we take the panels on the far right-hand side, those lower two, you'd like those rotated so they are the same as the panels at the very top in terms of their orientation?
I was hoping that all of them could go that way.
Yeah.
Well, I think your first suggestion was to take these two away since they're closer to the street and more visible and incorporate them over here horizontally. And maybe since only one of them, well, maybe 3 would fit there and then have one more on this dormer. So
Right.
you use one on the dormer and that has to be this way, portrait, and this one somehow over here. But that, I don't know if it'll work.
Yeah.
Or extend the,
That's a good idea.
just try to get the ones off the front. Towards
Tim,
the front of
is
the
there a way
house.
to get that off the front of the house, going towards the front of the house?
So the two lower ones on the front of the house, you're asking if we could remove those and maybe move them towards the rear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like maybe make one more on the dormer, so shift those over and put one there and then turn the rear so they're landscaped and move the other one on the bottom of those.
Okay. We do have the owner on, if he's okay with that, we can look to do that.
isn't the front of the elevation on the east elevation, isn't that the front door?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't see those.
Have you,
Yeah,
Tim,
Yeah.
can I ask you a question? I've been
Go ahead,
following,
Diane.
I've been following solar panels, and they seem to have been coming up with panels which are now working, not like before, that are the shape of shingles, like trees have. Have you heard anything about that?
Sure, we are familiar with the solar shingles or the solar tiles, as I think they're also referred to.
Yeah,
Um,
that would make our life much easier and let people have more solar shingles or tiles, whatever you want to call them.
mm.
So I'm hoping that we start hearing about those because they sound like a great answer to many of our houses that could use solar panels.
We're waiting for samples. Remember the guy that came in was going to bring a sample.
Yeah, we haven't, but
Okay,
anyway.
Diane, just to move this along, what's your feeling on moving them towards the rear of the building?
I think they should be moved to the rear of the building. We have not that I'm being picky, but we have a rule. And every time we break it, it gives 40 other people the reason to break it again. And solar panels are growing and we need just to try and keep them going the way that fits. So I think that Val's idea of turning them and putting them over towards the rear is good.
Okay, all right, so Val, can you, if we were to, you want to make that?
Could I, Madam Chair, could I just say
a couple of sorry,
other
Tim.
words?
Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So I just wanted to make it clear that this house is at the back of the Sachem's Path development. And that is actually a one-way street. And so when you drive around, anyone driving that street would not see the panels because you are driving in away from the panels. And also the HOA of Sachem's Path has approved that the owner did take the project to the HOA and they were approved by the HOA. I know that's just, it doesn't necessarily influence you, but I just thought you should know that it has been approved by the Sachem's Path HOA.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Tim.
Also, if I could comment quickly, if as an owner.
Wait, sorry, what?
Could I also say something as an owner?
Yes, quickly.
Before you do the motion? Yeah, I mean, you suggested moving the panels in the back to the back. If there is space, we would do it for sure. But also, as Tim said, it's not visible from the road. It's not visible even from the opposite circle when you drive down the road. And even if it was visible, it would be actually probably great for people to see that people are using solar panels and trying to generate some energy different way than just from the grid. So it would be actually nice to see them. And I see lots of panels along Surfside Road.
We're going to argue
other places where they are totally visible right on the road. So I don't see a reason why this should be reduced any other way.
All right, thank you.
Why you should be reducing it? Yep.
Well, I would motion to hold for review then, because it's not even on a black roof and we're willing to work with you on this, but if you want to insist it stays this way, then I want to make sure that it's not visible.
Okay, so what is you want to make that your motion?
Well, I
Go
want-
for revisions? We're not going to go back and forth.
Motion for a view, I thought that she wanted to have.
Right. So who's making that?
I will.
Val made it. On Val's motion, Diane,
Aye.
John,
What is the motion?
for a view. We're going to go view the
Okay,
solar
thank you.
panels. Carrie,
Yes, and I suggest they try to come up with a better
configuration.
configuration away from the street.
Okay, and
'Cause
I'm an aye.
pedestrians count too.
So motion to
Cars
hold
don't drive
passes.
that way. People
I mean,
walk that way.
for a view. Okay, so did I hear that other motion? John, your favorite motion?
Motion to. Let me see. Adjourn.
Begins today.
Adjourn. Okay, all in favor of John's motion. Val,
Aye.
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
and I'm an I.
Night, everybody.
Aye.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you all.
I'm walking.